Are we live, y'all? Okay, I think okay, everybody's loading up. I need compliments cuz lately I've been industry's really evil. Yo, Make 'em Pay might be song of the year. That's a fact. Make 'em Pay. Song of the year. All right, what's good with y'all, man? Welcome. Late stream. Your boy had a beach day today. Won't dox exactly where I went, but if y'all saw me, man, I pulled up to the beach and no, I wasn't out there looking like a little beluga whale, man. I was looking like a beached whale. Trust me, I was out there big balling. Yeah. When you go to the beach, you are mad tired afterwards. That's why I woke up late. I was supposed to stream at like 9. Anyway, a lot of things to talk about. We do have a bunch of updates that I haven't got to you guys, so I will get to you today. We're still on the Nolan Wells case. Lil Durk had a big win in court yesterday. We're really, proud and actually really shocked that Durk is kind of getting a win pretty much like in the 7th inning. It's been looking like he's down like 5-0, but looks like he's, he finally got a win. It was very impressive to see Brian Steele and also Drew Finland do a press conference. Like those two are, sorry, those two are heavy hitters in the game. So we'll talk about that. What else has been going on? As the title suggests, YB is going against everybody. Last night I had a really good conversation with Gilly, the kid, and I was trying to get to the bottom of what the hell is happening with that. There's been a whole bunch of stuff going on. I think, on the streamer side, I think Kyson at Streamer University has started. Let's look at it. Is it going on? Oh, wait, is Kyson that not? Oh, I forgot. Kyson that doesn't stream. He doesn't stream Streamer University. He lets everybody else do it. Damn. But everybody else's views are through the roof. DDG has 20K. I thought he wasn't in Streamer University. Wow. Okay. It's 19,000 people. That's DDG. DDG going crazy. All righty then. We'll work our way through all of the mess. Anything in particular you guys want me to start off quickly with? Oh, this is the Yuna girl, Yona. She has 30K. Okay, all right. Funny Mike got 22K. Oh, okay. Is he at Streamer University? Oh, wow, they got a whole thing. This is Geo. Damn. Oh, Geo really not with Playboy Cardi no more? It's over? Damn. I like them as a couple. I thought they were so cute. All right. All good. Oh, y'all want the Daphne breakdown? I feel like I got to do that in the daytime. I ain't going to cap. I know y'all want that Daphne breakdown. We're going to do it. What do y'all want to talk about? We could get to everything today. All right. Tori's new album. We could talk about that too. Come on. Let's vote. Let's vote, y'all. Vote it up. Let's vote it up. What y'all want? Lil Durk? Somebody said Lil Durk dodged that Rico. Well, yeah, he dodged the Vicar charges. That's what it's called. So it's violent crimes. Like it's a racketeering type of statute. It's not Rico, but it's pretty close to it. It's basically saying other violence that's in aid of like basically almost a racketeering, but it's not a RICO because it's not like supposedly corrupt organizations. It's a little bit similar. Anyway, what are we doing? Durk coming home. Or y'all want me to react to E-Bum and Rosendweeb? All right, we could do it. We could do it. Now, chat, listen, man. You know, I said this before. I want you guys, I want you guys to watch what happens in the future. Okay? Me personally, I'm going to pull back on a few things. I think the people generally, and I didn't realize that the audience is this dense, but I think people are also at a saturation point with this Rock Nation thing. You know what it is. I don't have to keep beating the dead horse. Fine. Let's stop talking about it. But what you're going to realize, and this is the most important thing, I don't care, and I see everybody has these think pieces, right? Like everybody has these think pieces on the sit down with me and Charlamagne. Regardless of what you think about that, it still does not change the point that the current consensus about Rock Nation is that they are Israel. People don't like them. People are seeing through the bullshit. People see through the manipulation. And no matter what that sit down, whatever you thought about it, didn't think about it, or whatever you thought it intended, or even did, the problem that Rock Nation has is that they have to try to change the narrative, and they haven't. They're not seen as the good guys. So they're going to send out these shills. They're going to send out these mouthpieces. They're going to send out these puppets to basically try to convince the public. Now, what I realized with that Charlamagne conversation, a lot of the public isn't informed, right? I'll give Charlamagne one thing. I think he did a great and masterful job by using the information that people weren't going to be knowledgeable of. And then, by the way, he's done this before, right? He does it to Dame when he does it to Kanye. He's like, yo, damn, man, like, are you okay? Not gonna lie, it was one of the most disrespectful things I've ever experienced in my career. Like someone, the idea that, respectfully, the idea that someone like Charlamagne, who, if you listen to Charlamagne on the Breakfast Club, that nigga can't even read a spell, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if that's the nigga telling me I'm Looney Tunes, it's disrespectful to me just on an IQ level. But fine, he's a media professional, and I do give that to him. But separate and aside from that, right? They have to try to fix this narrative. The narrative is about Jay, and I keep telling you the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that Jay-Z wants to make these big-ass moves, and he can't do it with his reputation in dirt. People are seeing through the shit. People are calling it out. As long as people could see this Rock Nation, like, nefarious element, Jay-Z can't get off any finesse. He just did all these shows. You don't think he wants to make an announcement of some big business deal that he wants all y'all to support, but he can't do it no more. And I think that's the problem. As long as people are knowledgeable of all of the things, or at least the nefariousness of some of how they're moving, it won't work. So they're sending everyone out. Okay, why did I say all that? Well, I said all that because, as I said, you know what? If people aren't that knowledgeable, I've done a great enough job. I think Nicki did a good job. Drake even said the jig is up. Cool. Now you got to let them fight among themselves. And right on cue was Peter Rosenberg, or as I call him, Rosendweeb, getting at Ebro about, he said, they were talking about the discussion with me and Charlamagne. They said, I'm going to be honest with you, I was shocked that Charlamagne really is in some type of business with Rock Nation. The oddest thing I've ever seen is that Ebum, a guy who has hated Charlamagne for decades, basically comes to the aid of Charlamagne, but it doesn't seem like he's coming to the aid of Charlamagne. Seems like he's actually coming to the aid of, or he's playing interference, as I've always said, for the idea of people working with Roc Nation, and he throws Rosendweeb under the bus by saying, you're broke. That's why you don't understand why Charlemagne is working with Roc Nation. That was an interesting twist. I'm going to play the video here for you guys. Is this it? This is right here. Let's see if we can find it.
And this is not shitting. It'd be like video. It'd be on like academics page. Look at
Here
it.
we go. Here we go.
If you have money, being invited to make an investment in things.
Okay.
Look stupid, which is
okay. So I want to play it with context. So this was their show yesterday. By the way, their highest viewed show, ironically, still only 40K.
I don't necessarily believe all the hype that I get in my algo that I'm the preeminent like Drake hater. I think that's just, I don't know. That's why I just left it alone at media personality. Maybe there's somebody else.
Okay, let me go back a little bit more. I want to give some context. Here we go. We'll start from 29 minutes, all right?
Interesting to see Charlemagne try to explain this, though I didn't think it needed an explanation.
But it clearly does.
Clearly does. Just because we sat here and were like, well, man, Drake, woo, that went bad. That was us piling on and saying, haha, good, we finally got him. That's how I believe he saw that as a man fan. That's the only way he was able to But that's when you said just there are media personalities, I'm chuckling because he was definitely referring to you and some others, but you among the most.
Okay. I think they're talking about me. Let's go back.
That here, we're like, well, man.
Here we go.
Don't understand things like well.
That's a good brand.
You know what I mean?
We represent those that don't understand.
Well, and it's because they're so caught up in fandom or they're so caught up in internet hype. Maybe they do understand. They just play like that on the internet or whatever. But the whole idea that like Drake lost the battle and then there was, and I'm sure there were media personalities that was like ready to finish him off forever.
Oh, he's referring to you, but go ahead. Yeah.
But how was that? I never took that stance, though.
I know you didn't, but I'm explaining.
Ebro, you were running around saying the guy's a cancer. Listen, you know all y'all niggas in media, let me tell you this. You know I'm at the point where I just shit on all y'all. I don't give two fucks about what y'all say. I'm rewriting all the media. Listen, the way I operate with every artist I've been cool with, y'all just talk. I help niggas' careers. That's a fact. I'm the reason y'all was talking about 6ix9ine. I'm the reason why, like, there's so many artists, when you think about what Act did for them, you gotta be like, it's a difference between me and all of y'all. Y'all will never be me. I want to point that out to media. This is why y'all don't make no rules. I make the rules. The way I've been with the top artists, y'all have never been and could never be. You can't take a rainbow-headed kid and make him one of the hottest artists based on how you're covering him, how you're dealing with him in more than a media capacity. Okay? That's just a fact, right? Whether it's my relationship with him, with YB, with Cardi, and guess with Drake. So when I listen to y'all and y'all say, oh no, well, media should be this. Nigga, fuck out of here. This is why I got fired from your show. The biggest artists in the world owe me probably something because I am intricately involved in turning up their career, and my biggest ops who are rappers, I'm intimately involved in turning down their careers. Me and y'all are not the same. Me and every nigga in media is not the same. Y'all don't wield the type of power influence I got. Y'all would never. I'm popping my shit because it's true. So when Drake is at a pivotal moment and I'm like, yo, you're my nigga. I see the media going against you. I see this going against you. And I do what I would have done with 6ix9ine. I would have done the same. The whole industry went against 6ix9ine. What I did, I said, yo, okay, that's what they finna do. Let's go. Y'all don't have it in y'all wheelhouse to do. And maybe when I hear when y'all say what media should do, nigga, y'all are beneath me, my nigga. I'm sorry. Y'all can't tell me how to move. Okay? I don't want to hear the 12th man on the bench shout out, yo, you a bum. Nigga, I'm dropping 40. So this idea is, when I'm even speaking about Drake, and this is why when niggas even talk about the chain, I'm like, nigga, I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas say. Nigga, I helped niggas' careers. Drake will tell you. Nigga, I helped niggas' careers. 6ix9ine will tell you. YB will tell you. Cardi will tell you. Who did y'all help? Because y'all love talking about what I've done. Let's talk about what y'all have done. All y'all have done is just run your mouth, but y'all are inconsequential because y'all don't influence nothing. And I mean all of y'all. The biggest artists in the world, I've had a thumbprint on how their career has went over the years. I've been locked in with think about me and Cardi. Going into the release of I Am Music, you think that Cardi would say, I ain't gonna lie, man. Yo, you know how much conversations we had going into that? You think Cardi didn't lean on me? I lean on Cardi. I act. Come on, bro. My type of media is a different type of media from y'all niggas. And it's not only for Drake. It's not only for Drake. I'm naming other people. So when I listen to these niggas and they keep saying this man fan shit, brother, it's the reason I'm the most paid. It's the reason why I'm me. And the reason why all y'all niggas, listen, I played a different game than y'all played. And it's the reason why in 2026, I sit at the mountaintop and I look down and I'm like, look at these bum ass niggas right here. I'm sorry. So I know when I say things like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. When it came time, when y'all always kicking Drake back in, when even the whole battle happened, yeah, me and Drake locked in more than we ever locked in before. That's a fact. Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna, what you want me to not take my credit for what the fuck happened in the 2 years of him reversing everything around and now the PR is probably the best it's been since before the battle? No, I'm gonna take that. And I take that because I gotta shit on you niggas because you niggas don't affect shit. All of you niggas teamed up and all that nigga needed was me. Fuck out of here. The whole industry switched on 6ix9ine. All that nigga needed was me. Fuck out of here. The whole industry switched on YB. All he needed was me. Y'all niggas are not in my space. Y'all not in the position. Y'all don't share the same voice. Y'all are peons. And I'm proud about what I do. Yes, it might be a little bit biased, but that's why I tell you, this is my homies. I don't give two fucks. Might be a little bit, yeah, that's my nigga. It is what it is.
The whole you doesn't understand anything. He didn't understand. And this was interesting to see Charlamagne try to explain this, though I didn't think it needed to.
Bro, I don't need to even sit here, and I know y'all trying to like do this thing like, bro, I don't need to sit here and talk about the conversations that I've either had with YB or Drake or 6ix9ine when, again, these are people who are artists who are trying to have their best face forward, and everybody's kicking their back in. Every media narrative is kicking their back in. The conversations where they're explaining themselves to me like, yo, this is the truth, but nobody wants to hear it. Everybody switched against me. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not over here apologizing for none of that. And to keep it real, with every artist I've ever fucked with like that, I'll do it again. That's gonna be the difference between me and y'all.
Explanation.
But it clearly does.
Clearly does. Just because we sat here and we're like, well, man, Drake, woo, that went bad. That was us piling on and saying, haha, good.
And oh, that's another thing too. Bro, I hate, and this is why I hate when it comes back around, niggas acting like they never hated like that. That's why I feel like y'all a pussy. Not because Drake ended up winning, right? He was down 24. And he ends up winning the game. And now all y'all be like, oh, we weren't there when he was getting jumped. Like, bro, I wish y'all would continue to hate. I kind of look down on y'all because I'm like, y'all only jump in when the tide is going one way. Y'all not man enough to stand on your own. Bro, if the nigga's a cancer 2 years ago, he's a cancer now. Stand on it. Now you're like, yo, who was hating like that? Bro, what do you mean who was hating like? Y'all niggas sound like some bitches. And it's not only these two bozos. The rest of hip-hop media who that's their narrative. Yo, wait, who really disliked Drake that much? Nigga, you! I'd rather you stand on it. This idea of like, and I get it. I think the new thing is like this gaslighting shit. Everybody's like, like rewriting history, gaslighting. What? No. You know what they're trying to say? It's not that we hated Drake. We were just being fair. No, you're not. Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it, because there are people that were being fair. But those people's voices don't even matter.
Good, we finally got him. That's how I believe he saw that as a Man fan. That's the only way he was able to but that's when you said just there are media personalities.
Yo, let me announce this right now. If any of y'all rappers go against Drake, we're done to you. Straight up. Like, I'm sorry. Like, as long as I'm the number one nigga in media, it's not happening. Y'all not getting my favorite rapper out of there. Listen, and it's not on some, you can say whatever, like, bro, this is my favorite rapper. Same how y'all rock for Jay-Z. That era just over. Like, I'm rocking out for my favorite rapper. I'm sorry. I always preferred Drake in the battle with Meek. I preferred him to battle with Pusha T. Listen, this whole like, you gotta, because you're media, you gotta be like this arbitrary, non-biased person. No. I thought he beat Pusha T with raps, not with T. He whipped what's his name ass? Meek. And then this Kendrick shit, whatever.
I'm chuckling because he was definitely referring to you and some others, but you
Rose and Dweeb, I was referring to that bum ass nigga.
Among the most prominent.
I didn't think listen, I don't necessarily believe all the hype that I get in my algo that I'm the preeminent like Drake hater. I think that's just, I don't know. That's why I just left it alone at media personality. Maybe there's somebody else. I don't know.
I'm sure there are other people.
But I don't know. But I don't want to assume.
Bro, I also keep saying, a lot of times when I'm talking, I am referring to you. I'm going to tell you why I refer to you. I don't like when, you're not that relevant as a media personality these days, but I don't like when you hide behind that you're just a media personality. You're one of the most powerful people in this entire game. You are the global ambassador or the global head of hip hop at Apple Music. That is a really powerful thing. I remember sitting on the phone, and this, if y'all want to say how is Act Media different from other niggas' media, nigga, I sat on the phone with Lucian Grange's son, Elliot Grange. I sat on the phone with 6ix9ine trying to figure out when the whole world thought he was a snitch. Yo, how could we get Ebro to fucking start programming the niggas' music on a playlist? Yes, I strategized with niggas. You have irrational hate because I guess you thought you were a street nigga. They told me about how much how they try to pitch this music. How many times? Yo, we try to pitch this. They're not playlisting the guy. You have a different type of power. This is why I oftentimes refer to you. Rose and Dweeb is just like, he's a bum. You have actual power. So when you have your voice, you have power, right? You're the reason why. Shit, I signed a deal. I'll be very honest. I'm like mad transparent. I signed a deal with 10K. I still got it. The Academy Records, bro. Even Elliot Grange is like, yo, bro, act. If you and Ebro got problems when you're pushing through an artist, he probably isn't gonna playlist you. He's not gonna playlist your artist to spite you. So, bro, you have a different type of power. That's why a lot of times I allude to you, because you being a hater, I don't think that you should have that job. You never see Carl Cherry come in and just start calling people cancer when he got to go make a playlist that's going to dictate somebody's life. You're calling a nigga a cancer while he's in a battle with the nigga, and then you get to make the playlist that controls his life. That shit don't make sense to me. You either got to pick a side. You either shut the fuck up and go make playlists and be the Apple head of music or head of hip hop, and you be fair. I always said, these niggas like Ebro, me and Elliot Grange and 6ix9ine on the phone and a couple more later people, and we literally said, Ebro is treating Apple Music playlist like it's Ebro's playlist. To the point, like, this is actual fact, nigga. Everything I'm saying is fact. At some point, because 6ix9ine is tight now. 6ix9ine is looking like, yo, Elliot, yo, you're the son of Lucian Grange. Like, you got to lean on these niggas. And he started getting mad at his label because he's saying, Lucian Grange has power over Spotify and Apple, right? Now, get it, it's his son. He's like looking like, yo, bro, if Ebro is going to be on this like street nigga shit, Bro, lean on Apple to either get him the fuck out of there, that because you need a fair nigga there. What do you mean? So that's the point where I don't like when this guy act like he's just a media personality. My nigga, you're not that good at being a media personality. Nigga, you're the power you hold is that you work at Apple, my nigga. You work at Apple, and if you have a gripe against somebody, you call somebody a sickness or a cancer, you could alter that algorithm. You could alter all of that shit to fuck with a nigga's livelihood. I can't, listen, I run my platforms. Okay, maybe I fuck with Lil Baby when I'm just violating that nigga. But that's my platform. I'm not up there at Spotify. Nigga, if I was at Spotify, I would delete that nigga's whole catalog. The fuck? But that's not happening. They wouldn't hire me at Spotify to do that. You're at Apple Music and you're calling niggas cancers. You're calling niggas whatever. I just don't think that's fair.
But my point being is, when Iceman was ready, we all were ready and celebrated Iceman and was ready to listen to it and have a good time with it. Like,
hey, I hate even that point. Bro, I'm telling you this, and listen, I'm not asking nobody, nigga. I'm telling you niggas this. Y'all niggas accepted Iceman because the whole tide had changed. We changed the tide, the media tide, over 2 years where it became unpopular to hate on Drake anymore, my nigga. I'm telling you, if you had dropped Iceman while y'all was in the peak of y'all hate, a couple months after the battle, y'all would all be comfortable going on your platforms calling it trash, saying, yo, this is proof he's finished. That's what you talking about? Yes, that's where I'm going to take my credit. I went against all you bum-ass niggas making narratives, and nigga, it was definitely a fight for 2 years to even out the narrative, to be like, okay, whatever with the battle, but y'all were nitpicking on everything. He need to go on vacation. Yo, he doesn't have 40 no more. Oh, he's singing too much. Oh, he ain't really rap. Y'all were saying anything, nigga, like he tried to drop music. He did. So that's the thing about these dishonest motherfuckers. Y'all think that the best music he's ever dropped just came with Iceman. I ain't gonna lie, it's a beautiful body of work. Bro, he dropped mad music. Y'all was shitting on it. Every one of y'all. Nah, that ain't it. All of y'all. Because the thing is, it's easy to hate when the environment says you could hate. The only reason, and I stand on it, whether it's Joe Budden, Charlemagne, E-Bum, I don't even know if DJ Dickhead and them even talk about this because I haven't seen them niggas in years. The only reason why y'all are forced to give it props is not because of the music. Y'all are forced to give it props because it is not popular to go with the same hate campaign. Your audience will look at you like y'all are bozos. So you got to do the, okay, nah, I ain't gonna lie, he came correct. Bro, here's the funny part about this. Plot twist he did back in that era. He did plot twist back in that era. A couple of them songs on this album, he did back in the era where y'all were hating. When he dropped No Face, like he picked No Face in them songs thinking, those are strong songs, let me rock with them. Y'all was hating on all them shits. Yo, he's obsessed. Why he keep talking like that? Yo, why he's still talking tough? Y'all was saying everything. It took 2 years of y'all realizing that the fans is over it. We tired of y'all just blanketly hating, for y'all to open up your minds, your ears, and at least not just put out the same narrative y'all been putting out. So I resent anybody who said it was just the music. It's not just the music. If Iceman dropped, he beefed in May, or that's when Not Like Us came out, May 4th, 2024. If he had put out Iceman October 4th, 2024, niggas would have said, bro, yo, this guy sounds exhausted. He needs to take a break. Yo, damn, sometimes it's cool to just fall back and accept your loss. Because that's how the internet is. You get what I'm saying? That's how the internet is. This is why I like, put it like this. The internet split on me and Charlemagne's comment. Well, not really split. I think some people, they're like, yo, act lost, whatever. Bro, you know how much I want to break shit down it? Nah, just leave it. You can't fight the internet. That's what Drake realized too. You can't fight it. So he waited. You can't fight it. When they want you to take a loss, just leave it alone. It's cool. So that's why you don't even really hear me like kind of dissecting even that Charlemagne thing. Whatever y'all think about it, hopefully it'll mature better in time. Who gives a fuck? I'm going to move on. But that's what Drake had to go through too. The moment he dropped the Hard Part 6, he realized these niggas don't want to hear nothing from me. That's a fact. They don't want to hear nothing from me about this situation anymore in this back and forth. It took 2 years for the tide to change. If y'all don't believe me, y'all tell me what it is. And if y'all really that stupid to think that it's just the music that is now just so much better that you're like, oh my God. If you really think that he could have dropped this project back then and y'all would have loved it and just switched up y'all minds, you're stupid. Anyway.
No, I know what you're saying, but that's ridiculous. Like, and that's actually, that's why I found the conversation interesting.
Because the fact that Charlamagne had to explain, hey, you don't have, to academics, hey, you don't have to jump in and be on a side. You can just analyze the thing that happens and say, hey, he's going to be fine, on to the next thing.
Yeah, it's
and
just a rap
like,
battle.
And academics saw it as like, nah, that's my man.
I'm not going to let him bleed out on the floor.
And you thought I was crazy when I said at the Jay-Z show, I thought there were a couple times he was performing for me. Academics like, they're coming from my man. I got you. Like, what? That's how you saw it. Now, listen.
That's exactly how I see it. That's how I see it. Yo, y'all media niggas, y'all not in my position. I'm locked in with these niggas. Like put it like this. It's a reason why the whole Rock Nation got an issue with me. When I'm in somebody's corner, like, fuck what y'all keep talking about in media. Nigga, I'm more than media in terms of when I'm locked in with an artist, nigga, it's the best PR you could possibly fucking get, my nigga. I'm like, that's so again, I'm not saying I'm the PR for the nigga, but in reality, it's like, bruh, if Ak is your best friend, 6ix9ine, if Ak is like your homie, YB, if Ak is like the only person you talk to, Cardi, like it's something else, yes. So in times of turmoil, this is why Meek hated me. Meek, honest, I wish he would even come and comment. He honest to God believes that he would have done Drake if niggas like me would have just been saying, yeah, Drake's over. Oh, hell nah. Oh, damn, a reference? Oh, that's over. That's why the niggas start beefing with me. The niggas start beefing with me because I said to Coon Philly on the phone, Drake is my favorite rapper. And all they kept telling me what real niggas do. Real niggas wouldn't get pissed on. Real niggas wouldn't do this. The streets recognize this. And I was just like, bro, I just like the niggas' music. I like it more than yours.
And he was rewarded with a chain because he went that hard.
And he's in the Iceman rollout. He hosted the...
Nigga, I'm in everybody's rollout. Nigga, the most popping like, I hate that I gotta pop my shit on niggas. I'm in Cardi's rollout, nigga. Like, when it's time for YB to really turn it up, nigga, I'm in that too. The thing is, y'all niggas, like, y'all like, I don't even really know what to call y'all. Like, that's just non-consequential. When from the biggest to the smallest rapper needs somebody, and they need to really get the focus on whatever they need to get the focus on, yes, I'm in it. I'm in that, yes. I'm the nigga they call. They don't call y'all.
Iceman rollout.
Got to host the Iceman rollout.
Say I'm telling on myself, nigga. I'm not telling on myself, nigga. This ain't no secret, nigga. I'm telling y'all the facts.
So when and once again, I'll remind you guys, every accusation is a confession.
Right.
So when he's talking about, like, you know, people picking sides, he's the one picking sides. Right. He's talking about himself.
It's so obvious, but
because
I picked the side, of course. That's fact. Yo, the thing is with me, like, I be telling y'all, like, yo, they be thinking that they're gonna say this and I'm gonna be like, no, I didn't. Of course I did, nigga. Are you dumb?
You've picked a side. You're assuming everyone else has. Like, we were just watching a rap battle.
Yo, exactly.
And then
a
battle where there's literally a conflict of some sort.
Yo,
you do pick a side, like teams. After that, you're like, all right, on to the next.
The irony is, this man is on the line with them, trying to give them information, do whatever they can. We never were talking to Kendrick. We were sitting here watching.
Yo, Kendrick don't want to talk to y'all. Y'all don't have nothing of value for him. Like, You know what's so crazy? Back in the day, y'all used to shame me saying I can't be in a room with bum-ass niggas like Jay-Z. That's what y'all used to say. That niggas, no. These days, all the current rappers, the most popping ones, they might have to, they hit me up either for the advice or, yo, okay, or give me the game plan. I'm sorry. So it is what it is. The reason why Kendrick don't call y'all, whether E-Bum and Rosendweeb knew about his plan or not, does not happen. Does not do nothing. That's the difference. Like, no way Kendrick's like, you know what? I'm about to drop this song called 616, but let me hit up Rosendweeb. Like, Rosendweeb is going to give me, like, you know, like when I drop the song and roll it out, yes. With Rosendweeb knowing about it and kind of like knowing some extra details and being able to frame it away, it's going to hit. No, nigga. Niggas like you, we damn near ran out of hip hop, man. That's why I be popping my shit on y'all now. I just gotta let y'all know the facts, man. Like I got like enough being humble. I gotta let y'all know the facts, man. Like y'all niggas like there's nobody really giving a fuck about what y'all got going on, bro. Fuck being humble. I'm tired of just being like, okay, cool. No, these niggas don't call you because you don't affect nothing. If you affected something, niggas will go hit you, nigga. That's a fact. Joe get calls. Nobody's calling Rosendweeb.
It literally as objective rap fans. And if Drake could come back and smack Kendrick, I'll be like, oh man, you know Kendrick's my guy. But woo, he took one that he really didn't get it. Now, I will say the one other interesting thing, though, while I saw the commentary moving around that everyone was like, wow, Charlamagne made academics look stupid, which is not a huge shock based on seeing them together. I would kind of predict that result. But I will say, I thought Charlamagne took a huge L in that I really never knew up until a clip hit my algorithm that he was legitimately like deep in with Roc Nation. I thought that was academics talking shit. I did not.
Bro, if I said it, it's facts, nigga. I don't come on this shit like just spewing bullshit. But I look like I got Roc Nation propaganda. Nigga, if I said it, it happened. Nigga, I'm the most truthful nigga that's ever been in media, nigga. Nigga, if I said it, it happened.
Yeah, well, look, I this is what I will say.
I just thought he wore the hat.
Being invited, if you have money.
Now, this is where E-Bum does something that I never thought he would do. Keep in mind, he don't fuck with Charlamagne. He don't bang with him. He's not cool with him. They've had tension. I remember him talking about one time they went to an event and, you know, there wasn't like, you know, they stayed away from each other. They've talked shit about each other. I never thought I would see the day where this guy runs interference, but he's defending Charla. But it's not really defending Charla. He's defending the Roc Nation Connect. And by the way, E-Bum, we're on your ass too, because the way you did this, it sounds like you trying to tell us that you might be in some paperwork with Roc Nation too. Like, listen to this, chat.
Money. Being invited to make an investment in things is something that people with money do. Doesn't mean that you're necessarily in with a particular person because you made an investment.
The way he phrased that very meticulously tells me, Gran, we got to find out which business deal he's on with Roc Nation. Because look like he was trying to, it's one of those where you're trying to say it really for yourself. Like, oh, exactly.
Being invited to make an investment in things is something that people with money do. Doesn't mean that you're necessarily in with a particular person because you made an investment.
I mean,
and here's, you know, again, I'm done really having these conversations publicly with these guys because I know they're gonna hit you with the gaslight because they're doing stuff beneath the cloak of. They're doing it beneath the cloak of, you know, the shit you can't see. So if he does have a business deal or something with Roc Nation, you wouldn't know, right? It's gonna take days or weeks of somebody like me and my team digging to expose it. He's not gonna even say it. Same like Charlamagne. He's like, no, it was public. You get what I'm saying?
It's pretty in.
No, not true.
Listen, let me tell you, as someone who's never been in, it's in.
But you don't have money to invest.
That's
like
not
that.
true. I mean,
this is even better what I was trying to say. And again, this is where, again, as I said, I'm done having these conversations publicly with these guys because it's easy to gaslight because they could hide stuff. They could use AI. They could do whatever. But this is the reality of it, right? And by the way, I know people, let me address the people saying, well, if you have an OVO chain, why can't these guys work with whatever? That's not the thing. I just said publicly, I said, yo, me and Drake locked in. Nigga, nigga, I'll tell you that when it comes to just strategically over the last 2 years, I've done my piece with Drizzy. Like, that's a fact. Like, I'm not hiding it. These niggas is up here acting like they're just like super like, yo, we are impartial. Like, they're acting like they got no horse in the race while their names are on contracts. Their names are literally, it has to do with their livelihood. They're investing with these guys. If they all kept it real like I kept it real, be like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, me and Jay, we got some shit right now. But this is what we got right there. We could listen to every Jay opinion you got and at least just remember in the back of my mind. Like, for example, y'all know I got an OVO chain. If I say something about Drake, you might just say, I don't know if I could take Act seriously, got a chain. Or you might be like, nah, Act actually spit the truth. But you at least get the choice. That's what being transparent and honest is. You got Charlamagne hiding the shit. You got this bozo over here look like he damn near snitching on himself like, I hope they don't find my connection. What the fuck? Why can't y'all niggas just keep it a bean? Because if you keep it a bean, it doesn't even make you irrelevant or like, negate everything you said, but it gives the audience the chance to think, oh, okay, all right, well, now we know this. We could either use that information and after we've heard you do this or show up like this, we could take you serious, or we could be like, you know what, I think that might be whatever. But this idea of, even when Kendrick says compromise, is like, is it compromise or niggas just not telling y'all who they're affiliated with? So if everybody got an affiliation, but everybody hiding it but Ack, who do you trust? I ain't gonna lie, and I know y'all ain't gonna like this type of analogy, but this is one of the reasons I fuck with Trump. All of them politicians is scummy. Trump came out and he said, nigga, I'm a scum. Like, I'm gonna do me. I always told people, I fuck with Trump because at least he was telling us he's a piece of shit. The rest of the niggas was acting like they not a piece of shit. And then we find out. He telling you like, yo, bruv, this is how I'm getting down. I'd rather the snake I could see than the one that is hiding it. And nah, bro, like, that's just me though. That's me. Y'all could be different.
How do you know? How do you know what Charlamagne invested?
Well, because I haven't seen you invest in anything. So
this guy makes a direct left turn in accusing his co-host of just being a broke ass nigga. I'm gonna tell you why this is so egregious, chat. Years ago, when Rosendweeb said a comment saying he saw me at Complex. I'm at Complex doing Everyday Struggle. They brought in this bum. He couldn't pull no reins. I remember they offered me like 10 bands or something like that to do a show. I didn't want to do a show. I'm like, I don't want to sit down with Rosendweeb. I don't care what I got going on. It's not gonna happen, right? Anyway, I see this bum in the fucking green room area at Complex, and I just walked past him, right? Like, bro, like, did I walk past him or I just seen him? But I was in the Everyday Struggle green room. Now, granted, my issues with him is not like I'm gonna run down there like some wrestling shit and choke the nigga out, but nigga, whatever, nigga, fuck you, nigga, whatever. Yo, the nigga went on air. He said, yo, I seen academics at Complex. He looked like he was scared of me when he see me. Huh? Anyway, fast forward. I'm on stream. I said, bro, Rosendweeb, not the nigga who's getting his bitch. Like, remember he had I fucked up his like marriage too. His wife was getting fucked by like some nigga, some mailman, some like, some black dude that was a mailman at her job. I forgot what her job was. Air that out, of course. I told that nigga, I said, Rosendweeb, no one is scared of you. Matter of fact, we could squabble. Bruv, the nigga sent me the longest DM I've ever got. Yo, I don't want to squabble. Da-da-da-da. I heard your stream. You said that I'm jealous, whatever. And this is when I knew this nigga is kind of like a bum. He's kind of broke. He said to me, he says, I know you make a lot of money. I'm never jealous about all the money you make. Like, I'm very comfortable in myself. And I'm like, why is he talking like, I'm like, yo, this nigga sound like he wanted to ask me for a loan. I'm like, yo, this nigga sound crazy. Boy's on Hot 97 at the point. Anyway, this, here's a parallel. This is egregious because technically Rosendweeb's boss is the program director. Who was the program director? E-Bum. So this is why it's egregious. Yo, it's like me and a nigga I hire, or me and my assistant get into an argument and I call my assistant broke. Nigga, I'm the one that pays you. Like, that's crazy. So for the last like 10, 15 years of Rosendweeb's career, E-Bum is the one that is responsible for getting him paid. So when he's calling him broke, he's hitting him with gut shots. Because he knows how much that nigga makes. He knows that nigga ain't got nothing. He knows that nigga's a bum. So, like, that's why you're going to see it go off the rails. Yo, how you hire a nigga and call him broke later? Yo, you broke ass nigga. Like, yo, that's crazy. Imagine your boss bringing you into his office and say, yo, you one broke ass motherfucker. Like, come on. But that's another thing about E-Bum. It's a conflict of interest. Why you got the program director who hires? You don't know what a program director does? A program director is responsible for programming at a radio station. They usually orchestrate all the shows and picks the personnel. Their executive status. He essentially is the boss of Rosendweeb at Hot 97. So he knows how much he getting paid. And now they both get fired, and he's calling the nigga who he used to be his boss a bum. They're doing the show for free $99. And even here, while they don't have no sponsor, no nothing, he's still the boss of the nigga. They're doing a free show and he's still the boss, bro. How you got a boss and y'all not making no money? He was a boss. He was your boss at Hot 97. He's a boss when y'all doing community service. How is that? You might as well call that man daddy, as Dame Dash would say. Call him daddy. Call him daddy. Now he gets on the radio with you. He's trying to defend Jay-Z, Rock Nation, all that bullshit. Matter of fact, he's defending Charlamagne. Back in the day, I don't know if y'all remember this, but I remember everything. Yo, Rosendweeb used to go in on Charlamagne for Ebro and the station. Now you have E-Bum who's going at Rosendweeb over Charlamagne while they're both unemployed and he's shitting on him. You're a broke ass nigga. Listen to this shit, chat. I couldn't make this up. Hold on, this is crazy.
What I will say.
I just thought he wore the hat.
Let me
try some water. I'm about to
invited if you have money. Being invited to make an investment in things is something that people with money do. Doesn't mean that you're necessarily in with a particular person because you made an investment.
I mean, it's pretty in.
No, not true.
Listen, let me tell you, as someone who's never been in, it's in.
But you don't have money to invest.
That's
like
not
that.
true. I mean, how do you know? How do you know what?
The like that is the shit that's the stinger. He said, how do you know? The boy signed your checks. That's how you know. He said, how do you know? Remember, I was your boss. It still am.
Charlamagne invest.
Yo, just go back to this one scene right here. Look.
Necessarily in with a particular person because you made an investment.
Here we go.
I mean, it's pretty in.
No, not true.
Listen, let me tell you, as someone who's never been in, it's in.
But you don't have money to invest.
That's
like
not
that.
true. I mean, how do you?
You see how Laura, is it Laura or Lauren? Laura, you see how she looks? She knows, and shout out to her, she know when to keep it quiet. You know why? She know the dynamic. This nigga been the boss. This is the employee arguing with his boss. She wouldn't say that because she know that E-Bum been the person responsible for her checks too.
You know, how do you know what Charlamagne invested?
Well, because I haven't seen you invest in anything. So I don't know. But I'm just saying.
Ebro, I have money to invest in things. No one asked me to be a part of anything.
Well, then
I'm not gonna roll over.
Okay, and this is where even a cocksucker like Rosendweeb is right once a day like a broken clock, or twice. Flex said it right. And this is the reason why I said I don't like, I don't care if Charlemagne was down with the Roc Nation thing. Well, first of all, here's the problem with that Roc Nation shit, right? It's not about the investment. And bro, I'm taking my blame. I'm taking the blame for allowing Charlemagne to even move the goalposts and shit, right? Like, for example, when he says, well, if Drake calls you up, the investment wasn't the problem. If Drake calls me and tells me, yo, Ak, invest in pickleball, right? This pickleball company with me. Great. Of course I would do it. I wouldn't get on my fucking platform and then go at everybody else invested in pickleball calling their shit illegal. Like, that's the problem, right? Nobody knows that I was invested in it. Now I get on my public airwaves and now I'm saying that everybody else, my potential competitors, because that's what it is. Charlemagne got on. He got all the problem with gambling. He got all the problem. Yo, this ain't legal. The nigga's trying to blow the whistle, but he ain't tell us that he was trying to be in that industry in the first place. That's the problem, right? So, I take blame for allowing him in the moment to get that off like I was mad at the investment. No, nigga. No. Now, obviously, the investment without you telling us, but in reality, this whole conversation with Charlemagne started when he said, yo, niggas is doing illegal shit. Niggas is doing X, Y, and Z. Gambling. And he's invested in gambling. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's one point. The second point is this. Flex was right. There's so many different ways to affect people, right? Or influence people. And this is why when people act like you could just be completely unbiased, that's not true. My nigga, when I got in the game, I got offered joint venture deals from every label. Yes, they were looking at like academics as his influence. He could probably break a rapper. We could make some money. That was one way. But the bigger picture, they were all looking at it like, we have a roster of artists. If we could incentivize Ak by giving him a check, not to promote our artists, but we're just going to give him a check for something. That's how they do it on the radio. The new form of payola when it comes to radio, because that's illegal, right? You can't pay to play a song. You know what they do? They spend money with you for commercials. So you'll have, Epic or Atlantic. They'll buy commercial slots on a radio station saying, hey, July 15th or July 24th, there is going to be a concert with blah, blah, blah. They pay the station that. You know what that does? It's giving revenue to the station. Now it incentivizes the program director, the music director, and the DJs themselves to speak positively about said rapper, to talk about their album. They then give them tickets. It's a roundabout way of just paying for promotion. What happens here, and by the way, I hate that when I'm explaining this like this, because I ain't gonna lie, Charlemagne saying the manic shit is like, I feel like I'm talking and people are probably like, no, Ak, you're losing it. When everything I'm saying is facts. Everything I'm saying is facts. That's how current payola works. No one's going to jail for it though. Why? Because payola distinctly says you have to pay for play. And technically you're not paying for play, you're influencing, right? It's the same way they do with they do with people who are either curators, radio yo, let's go out for dinner. Yo, I'm gonna fly you to here for this listening party. You give gifts because the payola rules rule that you could give gifts and they could accept gifts, just not for exchange. So labels always send gifts to radio stations. Yo, take this gift. They're skirting around the law. The law is you can't pay directly or else you're going to jail. So they send gifts. They do dinners. They buy commercials. They still give money. They do it in a different way. So why am I saying that? Because this is the same thing happening here. That's what Flex was saying. Yo, we're going to give you this $2 million deal. That's what he said. Roc Nation wanted to give him a $2 million deal. Yo, here's this $2 million deal, bro. You get this $2 million deal, and when you get the deal, you of course are now endeared to Roc Nation. Right? Star, who said this back in the day, which he was right. Star said he got paid $250,000 to supposedly make a compilation album. In reality, Star was one of the most vile radio personalities of all time. If he was on your artist's neck or on your neck, it's over. So you know what they did? They gave him the money saying, hey, we want you to make a compilation album. He literally said they had no interest in actually him delivering a compilation album. That was a way to route money to him to kind of influence him indirectly to not probably kill their artists or whatever. That's how it works. So this is why, and again, I'm not hating on people getting money. This is why you have to be honest up front. You got to be honest. Because if those things are happening and you're concealing it, you might as well just be getting money for whatever you're doing. If you're not, it's a reason why you're concealing it. Why not tell people? Why not be honest and open? Let people be like, okay, you know what? Maybe that's the deal he got. That's why he's saying that. Maybe it's not. But maybe it is. But the niggas who are hiding it, it feels like they're just doing payola. Why hide it? Why do we have to spend weeks to find it in some document that you're claiming is public, but the public never found it?
They know I'm too much of a risk. I am seen as, I believe, a risk to be too close to people.
No, you're seen as irrelevant, nigga. That's it. You ain't seen. Yo, look at these bum ass niggas. Yo, I'm seen. I'm the risk. They didn't want to do it with me because I'm the risk. It's risky. No, nigga. You're irrelevant. Like, you're irrelevant. Like, no one's like, you know what? Listen, all due respect, they bring Charlemagne up there. Once that nigga start talking with that lisp and all that shit, you know what I mean? That Monk's Corner, South Carolina shit. Maybe he'll convince a couple people. Nobody's bringing a bull-headed Rosendweeb to go convince nobody of nothing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nigga, nobody cares about you. That's why you ain't getting called. Nobody gives a fuck about you, nigga. Nigga trying to make it like, nah, I'm a risk. No, you ain't. You a non-factor, nigga, the fuck?
Either that or they just, at least I can be grateful that quietly people think I have nothing in my pocket. But what I'm saying is, don't say it's not nothing to be asked to be part of a group to invest. Of course that's something.
Well, no.
That's legitimately being down.
Now, I will say, I told you this guy's right. No, he's right. Broken clock, right twice a day. This is where the Roc Nation strategy comes in. It's time to gaslight him. It's time to gaslight him or deflect. So he's making a good point. Well, if they are asking Charlemagne to come in and invest, there's some prior relationships there. These are things that wasn't really revealed. He's making a point, and E-Bum is gonna hit him with the Roc Nation finishing move number 3.
No, it's being in business with people, yes, but it's not being on someone's payroll. It's not necessarily being
the
like
word payroll is him trying to take shots. Yeah. But it is compromising. You are no longer an objective critic of.
No, I've definitely invested in things.
He's telling on himself. Yo, Grant, can we figure out what he done invested in? Check every New York State filing. Everyone. Check everyone. His name is Ebro Darden. Ebro Darden. Check everything. We need it within the next couple of days. This boy was snitching on himself.
With people that I'm critical of other things that they're doing to their face. I don't like it, and even here on the show.
See, that's what this guy is missing. No one says because, nigga, listen, I know y'all might think that's not true. Yes, I got an OVO chain, but like if I could still critique Drake, that's not the point. The point is you should know that I have an OVO chain. You should know. You should know that as the audience, you should know. It shouldn't be some shit that I'm hiding in my back pocket and I'm like, yeah, I hope nobody. You should know. You should be able to say, you know what, I'm going to take this nigga serious, or, I think act just, he buys when it comes to that. You should know. These niggas are defending it. That, like, no one's saying you can't, like, I'm not saying that Charlamagne can't be objective. I'm saying it looked like you ain't trying to be objective if you're trying to hide it. Why are you hiding this shit? Why are we doing hide and seek?
And now I've never invested in music, but definitely products and definitely real estate things with people that I don't agree with, both politically, right, and personally. Absolutely. And it'll be a group of like 30 people.
I guess it depends on what the situation is, but that could be still seen as compromise.
No, it
you
could
may
be.
choose not to be compromised.
Yeah, no, but I'm not saying it's people wouldn't view it that way.
Right.
I'm just saying that's not necessarily true if you are somebody that makes investments.
Sure, I hear what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
But it also could be compromising.
It could be, depending on the person and depending on what your scruples are.
I think the whole thing's silly because what is happening that's that, like,
well, in that scenario,
what's that important that Charlamagne can't comment cleanly on Rock Nation? Like, this isn't about foreign governments. Like, so what? What's the big compromise?
And for that matter, right? If it's a legitimate investment. If I make a legitimate investment in something, and I put my money up, and there's documents signed on, I can say what the fuck I want to say. Like, sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's my money. I can say what the fuck I want to say.
It's crazy. You just threw out, you don't have money to invest in me. That was wild. Out of nowhere. You're like, you don't even have anything to invest.
Broke ass nigga. That's what he's trying to say. You broke ass. Yo, stay out of rich nigga business. You broke. Yo, Ebro wouldn't say that to me. He wouldn't talk to me like that. Nigga, way he talking to you, he wouldn't talk to me like that. He talking to you like that because he know you a bum. Like, that nigga's handling you.
Invested in anything.
Well, because I haven't seen you invest in anything, so I didn't know if that's what you're doing with your money.
But that's still a crazy thing to throw at someone.
No, it's not.
I mean.
Yo, Rosendweeb, ever since Ebro peeped that Drake recognized that your living room was a kitchen and an office same time, of course he knows you're a bum. Yo, remember that? Look. Ever since he peeped it, bro. Ever since he peeped it, that, yo, your kitchen is in the living room, bro. Your kitchen is in the living room and your office is in the kitchen. Ever since then, E-Bum can't take you serious. This is why you can't show your... Yo, it's like when I went up in Sneako's crib, I was like, yo, word? Like it was, yeah. Oh, yeah. See? This was the kitchen fridge here. This was the office. Yeah. And it was the living room. It was all in one.
I know. I'm telling you, no one in that world. Your cool guy club in the industry, bro, I've never been in it.
Make a phone call.
I'll be honest. Part of me wants to be, and part of me is like, I don't like that crowd.
Well, then you got to make a decision. If you want to make investments with people making money, you got to make some relationships. So do you have money to invest or not?
Yo, you start shitting on this nigga, man. You got money or not, gang? Yo, that's crazy.
So, because if you did, you would make a phone call and be like, yo, what do you got?
He said, basically, you broke, bro.
You did it again. No, that's two separate things. There's having money to invest, and then there's, am I good? Either A, do I want to play those games with people, and am I good at playing those games with people? I don't think I'm particularly good at it. I don't think I think I'm judgmental, and I can be like, I don't want to be a part of that crowd. You suck it up and hang around people you don't like to do those things. I don't think I can. I already have to do it.
You already do it.
I already have to do it, but I already do it.
You already do it. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but I can't do it more.
You do it for work. You do it to hang out with rep.
You just started exposing him. Nigga, you already sucked dick already, nigga. The fuck? Like, what you mean? Like, yo, nigga, you been sucking dick. Like, what you mean you don't want to suck dick? That's what he's saying. Nigga, you been sucking dick. Like, what you mean you want to suck dick and get money? What's up with you? Nigga, you been sucking cock. Like, what's up?
Wrestlers, you do it to do sports. You do it all day anyways. What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know.
You're just talking.
Do I have to do more of it, though?
If you want to make some money, what the fuck,
you
man?
You do have to choose where you want to go.
Yeah, but you have to do it always with people that you don't fuck with?
Who has the money?
Not always, unless you find some cool
Find some people with money that you like.
But, you know.
I don't know.
Because how about this? Right. That's why I said you don't have money to invest. Because you're not actively doing it.
But that's
not a slight. That's you wouldn't be having this convo with me if you had money to invest.
That's crazy.
You would have been made phone calls, or you would have been hanging out with people that you like.
Yo, he is smoking this nigga, man. You don't got yo, it's crazy. Like, listen, there's a lot of people with money that just happen to not be the investment type. They might just have a money manager. They might just keep it in the bank. But he's not just saying, he's not just saying this nigga don't invest. He's saying you don't have the resources to invest. That hurts.
Because it makes it sound like Rosenberg's broke.
Yeah,
like,
bro, you sound like a dick. Shut the fuck up.
No, you sound like a dick.
No, you don't.
No, you sound like an asshole.
The words you use.
No, you're
sound
saying
like
I
don't have money. Because shut the fuck up.
No, you're a bitch.
No,
you're a
I'm
hoe.
not.
You know why? Let me tell you why you're a hoe. Let me tell you why you're a hoe. Let me tell you why.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Normally, I would say this is disrespectful, but I think E-Bum is like 2% black, and it is kind of a little bit like therapeutic watching him pointing the finger at the white guy. You get what I'm saying? The bald cuck. You know what I mean? Like he's wagging the finger at him. But this is why, you can't let a man, he's sonning him like he's still his boss. Like, why you talking to E-Bum like, why E-Bum talking to Rosendweeb like this? This is crazy.
Because you're not actively doing it.
But that's
not a slight. You wouldn't be having this convo with me if you had money to invest.
Damn.
You would have been made phone calls, or you would have been hanging out with people that you like.
Because it makes it sound like Rosenberg's broke.
Yeah,
like,
bro, you sound like a dick. Shut the fuck up.
No, you sound like a dick.
No, you don't.
No, you sound like an asshole.
The words you use.
No, you're
saying
like an
I don't
asshole.
have money.
Because
bitch, shut the fuck up.
No, you're a bitch.
No,
you're a
I'm
hoe.
not.
You know why? Let me tell you why you're a hoe. 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 Because you just
now. This is how I know this was a real moment. Look at Laura. She starts looking off. I don't know if they got. Well, there's a guy in the back right here. I don't know if you can see. There's a guy right here. So you could tell the reason I realize it's real. She starts to get uncomfortable, kind of looking at people off camera. So that's how I know it's real.
No, you're a bitch.
No,
you're a
I'm
hoe.
not.
You know why? Let me tell you why you're a hoe. 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 Because you just called me a bitch for no reason.
No, it is for a reason.
No, it's not. It's because you're being a hoe because you don't know how to invest.
That's different.
You don't know.
So then say that. I listened to you about shit like that.
Because you don't have money to invest.
Yo, my man, what's wrong with you? We keep going over
You don't.
This. You keep saying the same
You
thing.
don't.
But you don't know that. Stop.
And I'm going to keep calling you a bitch if you keep saying that.
Oh
listen, man.
Bro.
Nah, the voice crack is crazy. Nah, I feel you, though. Like, you could tell this nigga, like, he probably logged into his bank account early that day and refreshed it a few times. Like, this shit is bare. Triple zeros. Like, you could tell.
Listen, if you had money to invest, if you had money to invest,
stop saying
you would be talking like you're talking right now.
No, it's because I don't understand the disrespect repeatedly, bro. And you're wrong.
You sound nuts.
That I said I don't know people.
No, you said
I don't know this crowd.
No,
you're like, well, you don't have money.
Crowd? There is no crowd. There's people that have money and you talk to them. That's it.
Both of you guys sound like dicks.
Just
stop.
But you just don't understand when you say things that are incredibly slighting. How do you not know that? It's like the Drake thing over and over again. You say shit and you go, why? Bro, I'm not mad at you. You just kept saying, all I said was the Rock Nation thing. I don't understand it. I don't know people like that. And you go, well, it's because you don't have money to invest. How in hip hop? How would that sound?
Because if you had money to invest, you would talk to people and say, hey, I got some money to invest. Who do you know?
Bro, shut the fuck up, you bum ass nigga. I understand what your broke ass co-worker is talking about. Cause I got bread, nigga, and I don't know them niggas like that. That's the point he's trying to say. You're just shitting on him because he's a broke bum. It's kind of sad because he's like 49, nigga, and he's just a broke bum, worked in radio for 30 years and could still get called broke by you. But, nigga, like, me to you broke, nigga. The fuck is you talking about, nigga? And I agree with them. I don't know niggas like that. Fuck is you talking about?
That is something going on that would be interesting.
And, bro,
because you already are around people that do this. That's the point.
But you keep saying it wrong intentionally.
Yeah,
Why
I
do you
think
not
just,
know?
You just keep telling him.
And I'm sorry I called you a bitch. It's me trying to
invest. It's mean.
It's me, and it's me trying to.
You trying to not get fired, bro.
And I'm being now mean back to you because you're being an asshole. I don't think you're a bitch. But what you're doing is bitchy. Bro, I have money. I invested in boring places like Edward Jones. I don't call you when you're friends. I don't know them. I don't know those people. They never treated me like that. That's it. You keep saying if you had money. No, I have money. I give it to random boring firms and I invested in little things. I wasn't raised to like, you have always had a DNA of, yo, I just.
Yeah, you got to know a type of crowd. I remember, I remember like in 2018 or 2017, Nadeska came to me and Nadeska was like, yo, do you want to get down with this? Like, it was some investment into Lyft. I'm like, nigga, I wish Lyft would call me. like, how do you get that call? I don't know about that. Right? It was like, I forgot what the amount, but it was like some early investments. I think they were doing another round or whatever it was, but it was like, yo, this is the amount that they want to get from a particular certain group, like whatever it was. And I remember Nadeska said it to me and I was like, damn, Nadeska, how you know the niggas that is asking for money for Lyft? Right? Like, yeah. So I kind of agree with Rosendweeb, but shit, he need to stop being broke. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, yo, you can't have your mans talking to you like this. That's wild. You get what I'm saying?
There's an opportunity, but I wasn't raised like that. I don't have that in me. My parents literally sat on a bank account, and that's what I thought you do. Like, you just stack money under a pillow, and that's what you do. I did not know. So then you keep flipping it and saying, if you had money to invest, you don't understand why that's slighting?
No.
Hey, bro, stop.
You're willfully a dick.
Now you're being a dick on purpose.
No.
And you call me a hoe, which I think is beyond bitch.
No, it's not. You're being a hoe and a bitch.
No,
and a pussy about it.
No, I'm
yes,
not.
Yes, you are.
Everyone's telling you you're wrong. You're playing the role of me right now. You're being told by the people around you you're being a dick, and now you're being defensive and wrong.
No, I'm not even defensive.
What do we mean about it? Like,
make the phone calls and do the thing. I'm not going to sit here in a hip hop space where literally these assholes grade us by how much money we make and have my friend and partner say, you don't have shit. Why would that be okay?
I never said you don't have shit. I said you didn't have money to invest.
I know, but
yo, I ain't say you ain't had shit. I just said you ain't had shit to spend.
Listen.
Oh, then maybe I don't understand the words you're saying, but if I don't understand it, what do you think they do?
Well, because when you have money to invest, that means you've actively set aside money to invest. That's
right.
like literally what it's for. It's not like a savings account where it's like literally I might lose this money.
Right.
I'm not putting this in because I think
it's money that can be placed somewhere that could be risked and gone. Okay.
Calling a firm, a professional firm, and making an investment, that's more like a savings situation. That's more guaranteed.
it's safe.
It's safe.
It's safe.
Yeah.
Money to invest, you may not get back.
Yeah, but the difference of having it or not having it is just if you have the balls to, like, I'm down to risk
because then I don't have it. I don't have it to invest.
But that's still a choice if you want to use it or not.
Yes, but some people don't have it.
But you see what I'm saying? That now we're getting to the nitty gritty. You're saying
some people did, like, I don't do that. Like, there's people who's like, I don't do that. I don't have money to invest like that. I don't do that. Like, there's people like that.
That exists, but there's
That's
also
a real
people
thing.
who have money that they're like,
I'm
don't
too
want
scared.
to.
I don't. That's not what I do because, like, I don't know. I'm a child of the Holocaust. I don't know. The idea of being like, yo, let me throw this money over here. I'm scared to do it. What if it never comes back?
Because you.
But that's not. You're going to keep saying the same fucking thing.
But that's what it is.
But it's not.
It is.
Then it's a language. It's a word choice you're using that doesn't.
Rosendweeb is broke. Rosendweeb is broke, bro. Shit's sad, bro. This nigga worked all that time in radio, broke as shit. Whatever. Anything else on that front? We got more topics to get to, man. Oh, y'all seen Mealy Mall? Y'all seen Mealy Mall over here copping pleas of why he ain't go to Yankee Stadium. Yo, Mealy Mall, bro. I know Drake said he don't want me and you to beef, but I gotta just keep it a bean with you. Bruv, They look at you, Jay-Z and them niggas. I remember I called you Jay-Z pre-cum. They look at you like a traitor, gang. You ain't show up to Yankee Stadium because they was going to give you a wedgie, nigga, and a noogie, bro. Like, let's keep it a bean, bro. Like, yo, they been watching how you been rocking with Drizzy, and ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm glad you rocking with the boy. But, bro, you know you was going to show up, nigga, and they was going to beat your ass at the family cookout. Nigga, you know this nigga's trying to make up reasons why he ain't show up to... Nigga, you ain't show up because you know an ass whooping was there for you, nigga. Like, nigga, they been seeing how you been rocking with Drake. And they probably looked at it like, nigga, you know, like, I think he's supposedly, the nigga named Biggs. That's his brother or some shit like that. He really Jay-Z pre-cum. Nigga, they been seeing how you been rocking with OVO. Yeah. Nigga, they beefing with OVO. Nigga, the fuck? You think you about to come around? Hell no, you about to get an ass whooping. So good thing you ain't show up. I don't like how you try to position it like you had a choice. Nigga, they probably told you, nigga, stay on that side. Nigga, first of all, Jay-Z told Kanye to buy tickets, nigga. You get what I'm saying? You think he gonna tell his pre-cum that's now rocking with Drake to come through and eat caviar and sauteed duck on some Tony Yayo shit, nigga? No, nigga. You was gonna show up, Tata's hit you with a pepper spray, Memphis Bleak is squabbling with you, all them ugly bald niggas that Jay-Z be running around, they're ready to karate chop you, nigga. You was not invited. It's okay. Nigga, it's a reason you ain't go for the same reason I ain't go, nigga. You feel me? We ain't go for the same reason, nigga. Don't try to act like, yo, you OVO 1 minute but could slide over there to the ops cookout. No, nigga, they spanking you. That's a fact.
One of the reasons why I didn't go to any of the shows this weekend was because I know this is Jay's last run. Like, I know this is it. Like, and I don't want to face that as just a fan, as somebody. Like, I don't want to.
It's like going to the funeral of somebody you love. You can't do
I don't want to face that, bro. Like, this is the epitome of this is it. This is the victory lap. This is, like, I'm done, bro. I'm 60 years old. This is just looking back at everything I've done, the moments that I've created, the music I've given, the culture and things like that. And I don't know if I was ready, ready to see that. It was just too much. It was like, nah, let me just chill. I'll see the clips, some streams.
Someone see the clip. No, nigga. Yo, Mealy Moore, this was you, nigga. Squidward watching from the window, nigga. That was you. I don't know why. Nigga, I don't know why you over here saying this other bullshit, nigga. This was you. This was you. It's fine. It's fine, nigga. Yo, Mealy Moore, don't worry. Drake about to be back outside and we're all gonna be on tour. I'm gonna be there, Ben the Don. Just stay your bitch ass over there away from me. But you gonna be there too. It's fine, gang. Yo, gang, you picked your side. You picked the OVO side, nigga. OVO and Rock Nation. You can't be OVO Rock Nation. It don't work. You can't bang the ops, nigga. You can't be GD and BD, nigga. The fuck is you thinking? You picked your side. Just wait your turn. We know, we just seen that little shit with whatever. Drake about to do like 10 days at Madison Square Garden anyway. We all gonna be up in there. I'm gonna be there with a chain. It's fine. And then all of the 45-year-old niggas who was falling asleep in the bleachers, they gonna be looking like they gonna be doing this to us. It's fine. Me and Ben the Don, we might be rolling dice in the back. You know what I mean? See who gonna rizz up the most OVO baddies? Yeah, it's cool. Bruv, they kicked you out the Rock Nation whip. You're no good over there no more. You're no good. You're no good. Don't worry, Drake got love for you. You gonna be at the tour. It's fine. But nigga, don't make up some bullshit ass reasons. Oh yeah, I didn't want to see Jay look like that. Huh? What do you mean I want to see Jay look like that? Like, nigga, what? The fuck you? What are you talking about? This nigga making up all type of excuses, bro. Yo, let's put it like this, man. Beyonce or one of them people over at Rock Nation got some type of voodoo on you. This dick sucker right here, he caught a stroke going to the show. I told y'all bitch ass niggas need to stay home, nigga. He caught a stroke going to a Jay-Z show. A stroke, my nigga. Not like he had an upset stomach, diarrhea he thought. He caught a stroke. Yo ass, you're just doing the Squidward. Nigga, wait. Yo, Drake back on road soon. Chill. Rock Nation don't want y'all niggas over there. I ain't gonna lie to you. They kind of identify y'all podcast as ops. Nigga, they beefing with me. They don't think they beefing with you. They beefing with everything OVO. Stay your ass in the crib. Drake soon pop out. We gonna do the biggest tour ever. And it's gonna be fine. This nigga over here making I ain't get invited. No, nigga, you ain't get invited because you was gonna get your ass whipped, nigga.
But I was just like, I'm not ready to see Jay on stage in New York, possibly for the last time.
What?
Nah.
I'm not ready to face it? Like, yo, this nigga's talking like somebody invited him down to the morgue to go, like, identify the body. I'm not ready to see him like that. I'm not ready to see the corpse. Nigga, what the fuck? It's a show. Yo, what's up with this nigga, man?
I'm not ready for that, man. It's not.
What you not ready for that? Nigga, you're not invited. Fuck out of here. You're not invited.
Because then it's what's next? What's after that?
What's after that? What? What is he talking about? Yo, Mealy Moore. There's size now, nigga. You can't. There's no OVO Rock Nation, nigga. There's no. You can't rock the Rockefeller chain with the OVO owl, nigga. You gotta take one off. Pause. You gotta hide one of them like the detergent you used to hide when you used to live with Joe Budden. What the hell is this nigga talking about? Y'all hear this nigga? I don't want to see him like that. Nigga, like what? You don't want to see Jay-Z with his hair out? What the fuck? Nah, I wasn't ready to see him in a Yankee hat again. Huh? Fuck are you talking about?
What do we have after that? Like it's some real shit. It's some real questions and conversations we have to have coming off of this whole run right here. Like, what's next?
Yo, the nigga is 60. What do you mean what's next? He gonna get his colon checked up. He gonna go to Blue Ivy's like graduation for high school. What the fuck you think it's gonna be that? Why is he acting like this was like some dire times? The nigga just had a celebration concert. Good for Jay.
Maybe we need to thank the city of New York for denying the Caesars Palace Casino. Because had Rock Nation gotten that bid, I don't know if we would have gotten any of this shit. No. I don't know if we would have ever gotten Jay back on stage again.
No,
thank you, the city of New York, for getting Jay back on stage. Because
I don't think we would have this big of a celebration, but he would have did concerts here or there. If the casino bid went through, Jay-Z would have did like some type of free concert. You know how slimy Jay is. He's going, after he's guaranteed to make billions from that, he would throw a free concert that everybody could love him again, right? He would probably have the casino as a backdrop, like Caesars with the Rock Nation logo up there. You know how they change all the flags? And yeah, of course, he was doing promotion. You know what he said? You know what he would say? Yo, this is a free concert for the people, for the culture. That's what he would have done.
They denied that he would be in Times Square right now.
No. This, first of all, wouldn't even been open yet. But
no, and I'm joking because obviously they planned this.
Yeah, this was
years in advance.
This is literally what it is, a 30-year anniversary for my first album. And if you remember correctly, he always said his first album was his last album. Mm-hmm. So now you look back 30 years and all I've accomplished and everything he's doing in business now, family, his wife, being who she is. And, it's like, at some point you got to be like, yo, I'm cool. Like, I'm done, man. This was him cementing his legacy as if it wasn't already cemented. But, let me do Yankee Stadium and then let me go out west and then let me go to London and Paris. But this is the victory lap. This is why Encore just feels a little different now when you hear it. Everything he's saying in it is like
came true.
Oh shit!
Like you really said all that shit before it happened. And it happened exactly how you said it.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why it just hits a little different now. I love seeing him and Nas on stage together. I was kind of thinking even seeing that like damn.
All right, man. Mealy Moore, don't worry. Drake back on road soon, okay? You invited to that one, all right? Drizzy got a lot of love for you. Jay-Z done dropped you from the whip. It's all good. You feel what I'm saying? Trust me. I looked at the people who went to that Jay-Z concert. There was no baddies in there. It was like a lot of overweight, like moms of 10, Like, it was a lot of trash in the building. The OVO concert, straight baddies. You could drop your little money bag sign under their pictures too. Don't you worry, brother, because you'll come back outside at that time, all right? Nigga over here making up all type of bullshit lies about why. Nigga, Jay don't fuck with you no more. Nigga, you fuck with Drake. Jay don't fuck with nobody who fuck with Drake. That's how it goes. Like, y'all niggas dumb? Anyway. All right, keep it going. What we talking about, chat? What we talking about? Y'all having fun or nah? Y'all not having fun? If y'all not having fun, let me know, man. Somebody said, I seem sad? No, nigga, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. I've been ranting? Yeah, I've been flowing. I've been flowing. It's all good. Y'all want to talk about Future? Yo, so Future dropped his album, and his album, The Real Me, is actually aiming for a #1 debut on the Billboard 200 albums chart. It's going to do 135,000 first week, according to his Daily Double. It would mark his 12th #1 album, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest. I listened to the album at first. You know, I know some of y'all wanted me to do a listening party, but I didn't get a chance to do it. But listening to the album, it's starting to grow on me. At first, I was like, damn, why Future kind of... It's a lot of times when I listen to Future, there's like 2 or 3 songs, instant hits for me. This is kind of like a little slow, kind of... Like, I'm liking it more and more now. Regardless, 135,000, despite what YoungBoy said, because YoungBoy said, I can't wait for you to flop. That's not a flop. You know, Future's still doing big boy numbers. He's doing big dog numbers, as I would like to say. You know, you do over 100K, that's a big dog. And I got to say, man, this is a huge win for Future. I keep telling you, Future, over time, in the last 3 to 4 years, he cemented himself as, to me, undisputedly the king and probably the GOAT of Atlanta. His numbers are phenomenal. I think that people have realized that his hit-making ability, his catalog is really superb. Now, I do see certain narratives, like certain people are like, you know, there was a crowd that said Drake needed Future. I think this proves that Drake didn't need Future, but it doesn't mean that Future can't survive by himself, right? Future did 135K. But for the people who would think that Future had some big impact on Drake's album, clearly not, right? Like, Drake did over 400, closer to 500, I think, first week. And yeah, 135, I still think is better than The Field. I don't think nobody in Atlanta is pushing over 100K right now. I don't think Thug is pushing 100K. And I'm going to be honest with you, I seen recently that Le Bebe, he's now announced that he's ready to put out an album. You get what I'm saying? And I got to read y'all these comments. This shit was absolutely hilarious, okay? Now, they like to say it's just me. It ain't just me. Listen to this shit.
It's album time.
Exactly. We can tweak it a little bit.
Fucking steady.
Wait, so do you? so we're saying on Sunday.
Okay. Now I got to read y'all these comments. This shit was comedy. Okay. Listen to this. And niggas like to say it's just me. Listen to the comments. Somebody said he dropped 2 last year. That was already too much. Somebody said Lil Baby threatens planet Earth with new music. Oh, shit. Okay.
Bro, there's no way you can look like an...
The fuck? Oh, my God. He says, thank you for warning us. Somebody says, where's Act? I'm rooting for Wham. Don't worry, I'm right here. We've heard enough, gang. We're good. Shit not dropping until 2027. Lil Baby threatens to release good music.
Very, very excited.
I'm going to be honest. Let me be serious about this. Let me be serious about this. I think this is a bad idea. Bad idea. Lil Baby, after dropping the album in early 2025, where he did over 100, he hasn't cracked over 100K since. His last album sold, I believe, either 17K. Wait, how much did The Leaks do? Lil Baby, The Leaks. It Yeah, he did 32,000 first week. I don't believe he should drop an album right now. And I'm giving actually really positive advice. I'm not even shitting on him like I normally do. He's not that hot. A lot of times when you're about to drop an album, you want to build momentum. His last project just did 32K, right? He does have that song, the little Get Ready With Me song. What's it called again? Miss Trendsetter. That is cool. But if I was him, I would think right now he should go on a feature run. And matter of fact, why am I giving this nigga advice? I don't even like him. But it's cool. You know, it's hip hop. He should drop, he needs one single that's working. He needs one single that's Billboard charting. And tell me if he does. Maybe, I haven't really peeped his music for a while. Last time I heard it was just like some, nigga, I had to adjust my speakers, nigga. I thought, like, what is this mush mouth fuckery like? Anyway, here we go. Does he have a song on the charts? No, he don't. So I don't know what the rollout's going to be, but he should try to get a couple songs popping, right? Drop 2 to 3 singles. And here's the test too. He did better with it. I'm being honest. He did better with it on the leaks, but don't make the same fucking song 4,000 times. And whoever was in the studio when you made that fuck shit call, hey, 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 delete them from your life. Okay? Don't make the same song. Stay out of the studio with them niggas who co-signed that bullshit and lean into this lane. Nobody wants to hear you talk tough, little baby. Your best friend is Thug. Y'all probably at the precinct together. It's not going to be believable and it's not going to work. So you need to do what you've been doing. Copy Gunna. Keep making the Timu Gunna music. He makes the fly shit and you kind of try to make the fly shit. It might work. But stay in that lane. Make fly shit for the women. Stay away from talking tough. Drop a couple singles. Make sure they don't all sound the same. Okay? We know when you get one hit, you make it over 50,000 times. Okay? And whoever was in the studio, including the engineer, the producer, and even your A&R, when you drop that bullshit called hey, 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 delete them niggas from your life. Okay? You do that, and I'll tell you this, lil' baby. I don't think you're touching 100K. That's over for you. It's over for you, okay? It's over for you. I think Gunna got a better chance. But I think you could hit a nice, smooth 85. 85 is where you're at. But remember back in the day you doing 200? Dead it. It's over with. Nobody want to hear that no more. I think you did 120 with some project. I can't remember. I think 85K is where you should aim for. All right? That's me giving you positive advice. It might sound not good, but for my people over there at Motown, I know. I've worked with you. Is Jacqueline still over there? Shout out to her. Yeah, and that was just free unsolicited advice. Usually I bill people for consultancy for that. But, you know, I still have fond memories of before me and Le Bebe, kicked off our feud. So, yeah, I think it'll work. But where I think he is, 85K, I think is the barometer. Now, granted, what I think they're going to do, they're going to buy these albums too. So they might try to prove a point. If he gets to 85, they're probably going to do the bundle shit and get him over 100. One of those where you're like, how the hell he got 40,000 like pure sales? Keep in mind, Drake, the biggest artist who didn't bundle, he had like 10,000 pure sales. You know why? Because nobody buys actual music on iTunes, right? You have to package some CDs and just kind of like give them out, and the label pretty much just buys it themselves. And then you could get, anytime you see these artists with like 50,000 pure sales, the label bought it, bro. The label bought it, okay? But just streaming wise, so SEA, which is streaming equivalent albums, I expect him to do around 70 to 85K. But I think we're going to get into a new era. I think the Lil Baby experiment is burnt out. I don't think he's gonna catch that. This would be like about his third or fourth win, because I remember when he lost his win the first time and he kind of came back and really did it. Shout out to My Turn, and he went on an amazing run. But I think honestly, Atlanta's in a bad place. I think Future is the only nigga who could really do some shit. I'm hoping Savage could flip the switch. I think he should, or hopefully he's gonna drop something this year. But when it comes to Le Bebe, I think the best thing he could do is copy Gunna. Just whatever Gunna's doing, just copy that, my nigga. Okay? And no, don't copy him with this international shit, because we don't want to see you and James Harden like over in Paris looking like husband and wife again. We don't want to see that again. Okay, Le Bebe, we don't want to see that. But whatever music that Gunna's making, just copy that, bro. Just copy that. I ain't gonna cap with you. I'm just being honest with him. Just do that, bro. You be alright. You be alright. Okay.
Oh, little baby got the speed. Yeah, you fast, little baby. You fast. You quick with it. You quick with it.
Is that Michael Rubin?
Baby, you fast, boy.
Oh, no,
you fast, boy. Yeah, you fast, boy. Yeah, little baby, turn on the jets. He turned the jets on.
They throwing the shit out.
Jets on. Yeah, he gotta go. He gotta go.
Oh, this was after the Yankee Stadium show? Damn, it was that crazy for people to get out? Where the 4PF goons at?
Summer game. Yo, baby.
Yo, how little baby gangster and this white man holding him like he a schoolgirl, bro, like just escort him like that.
Hey, yo, baby. Get home safe, man.
Yo, niggas in New York is undefeated, bro.
Yo, baby. Yo, win.
Okay, whatever. All right. That's some good advice by me. Okay. Let's get over to YB. Did y'all see YB's new music? Yo, YB's going crazy, bro. YB's going crazy. Listen to this. So YB dropped this song, and I know YB's really on one. YB got his wife in it. So a lot of times he don't put his wife in there, but this is, I think it's called The Galdens. He says for entertainment purposes only, which, by the way, this is also interesting strategy. He drops this on Instagram. He usually drops on YouTube. But I guess it's kind of like in a preview status anyway. But 50,000 comments and almost 1 million likes. Let's hear it for this. Chat, have y'all noticed that recently people have been like trying to call Future old more and more? It's kind of interesting. Because I feel like the culture have always just kind of looked at Future as like, he's just like this entity. And yes, of course he ages, but you don't mention his age. But now people are calling him like old. Back on this? So maybe we got to try to watch this on YouTube. But that supposedly was a diss to NBA Young. No, I mean, that's NBA who's doing it. Dissing. He's dissing BlueFace's like ex. Or BlueFace's girl, Navia. He's saying that looked like she was pregnant for him too. But she got an abortion. Something like that. I don't know. Let's see if we can find this on YouTube, because we got to like slow it down a bit, right? The Galdens. Okay, here we go. Happy with seeing his wife smile. Like, you know. I feel like dealing with YB, she goes through a lot. Like, she seems genuinely happy. You know, he keeps his kids around, their kids, obviously. She goes with them everywhere. But, like, you know, I know sometimes people are like, damn, how do you deal with this nigga all the time? And she looks genuinely happy. So I'm really happy that she...
Bring my name, nigga, better be playing. Check me.
What you said?
Hit his bitch ass with a fan. Stepping out, do my dance. Bring my name, nigga, better be playing.
Okay, I gotta look up the lyrics, man. He talking too quick. The Galdens lyrics. Not Miss Golden. What the fuck? They don't have that on thing yet. Anyway, you said I had a thought about killing Gilly, but that nigga never killed nothing over his son or some Mellows, and that's Mellow Racks. He says I granted her wishes, and she gonna play me like a punk. Now, supposedly, you know that song, What It Is, Youngboy. Supposedly he deleted that song. I'm not too sure if that's true. Okay, no, he didn't. Okay, it's still up. Somebody had said he had deleted it. I don't know what their relationship is currently. Okay, so the song is still up, but he's saying Mello played him. I wonder what the truth is behind that. I always say Mello, despite I think he's called her out a few times, she never says nothing back. She never really says anything at all. So I don't know what's going on with that, but the Gilly line is really interesting. Let me let it play through and then we go back. Make a song where he's talking about wanting to kill people and he got his kids in the video. Yo, this guy's like unbelievable. You know what I'll say about this song? It seems like he's having fun though. And if you've ever listened to YB's music, like a lot of times you could tell his genuine like feelings. Like you could tell when he recorded I Hate Youngboy, he's mad. You could tell when he recorded like Still Waiting, he's sad. Lonely Child, he's sad. You could tell how his current feeling is based on the song. This looked like he's just having fun. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay, all right. Now, I'm gonna try to like make some sense of this, but he says Gilly. He says the line about, "Oh, I was gonna kill Gilly." Wait, I need to get the line right. Gilly Youngboy. The line he says is, no. Wait, he dissed Gilly before? No. This is new. Never mind. Had a thought about killing Gilly, but that bitch ain't killed nothing but his son. Now, this is what Gilly said in response.
I don't respond to shit with Vaughn. Fuck it, he's talking, go get your gun. You hear me? I'm not, Neff, let me just tell you something, okay?
What's up, though?
I'm an old school nigga, man. All right?
Uh-huh.
We don't say what we was gonna do on the internet and all that type of shit. That's kid shit. You know what I mean? Like if you was gonna do something, you would have done it. Don't you know? So Neff, that's rap music, man. You know,
that's like
rappers make rap music. Rappers make rap music, man. That's all it is.
Did he say it's rap music or rap music?
I don't feel no type of way. You can't make me feel some type of way mentioning my son. I already come to grips with what happened, bro. That don't. You think you going? That don't make sense, bro. I already came to grips.
That's why I'm laughing because I'm like, you somewhere on the rocks and shit.
I'm not threatened.
Yep. You just gotta laugh at this shit. That's what.
Bro. You're younger than my youngest child, man. Sometimes you take too much of that shit, man. You know what I mean? You come down off that shit. Man, be all right.
Okay. So basically, he's saying that you're not gonna make him feel no way about his son, and that he feels that if YB was serious or whatever he's talking about in the song, he wouldn't say it on the song. What do y'all think about his response?
I don't respond.
He also quotes Durk.
Shit with Vaughn. Fuck it. He's talking. Go get your gun. You hear me? I'm not. Neff, let me just tell you something, okay?
What's up, though?
I'm an old school nigga, man. All right? We don't say what we was going to do on the internet and all that type of shit. That's kid shit. You know what I mean? Like if you was going to do something, you would have done it. Don't, you know. So Neff, that's rap music, man. You know,
that's like
rappers make rap music. Rappers make rap music, man. That's all it is, man. It ain't nothing, man. I don't feel no type of way. You can't make me feel some type of way mentioning my son. I already come to grips with what happened, bro. That don't. You think you going? That don't make sense, bro. I already came to grips.
That's why I'm laughing, because I'm like, you somewhere on the rocks and shit.
I'm not threatened.
Yep. You just gotta laugh at this shit. That's what.
Bro. You're younger than my youngest child, man. Sometimes you take too much of that shit, man. You know what I mean? You come down off that shit.
Yeah, so I spoke to Gilly last night, and what Gilly told me was that nothing happened of recent to cause this. He says that Youngboy, he hasn't spoke to Youngboy in a while, and if anything was the cause of this, maybe like 2 years ago. What he described was that he said Youngboy called him spazzing out one day, and basically he told nigga get off the phone, like bro, what type of shit you doing? And pretty much, basically, someone affiliated with Youngboy, Fee, was the one who basically had facilitated the call, and he's like, yo, bro, why you got this guy calling me shouting on the phone like that? And the person supposedly said, yo, you know what, my bad, it's and third, and he never really spoke back with Youngboy. But they did do an interview back in the day, right? So again, he doesn't even think that's what it is. He's saying that hasn't been anything for like a couple years. So that's it. That's his side, right? And so he's saying this was really unprovoked and random, right? Now, on YB's side, and I think I could be honest with y'all. So like, and if y'all wonder, actually, I'm not going to say certain parts of that. There's certain things when that kind of happened when YB was at Gravedigger Mountain that I think, he was kind of careful about how people, and probably weary that people were trying to like take advantage of him, maybe like when he was in a lesser state, if that makes sense, right? And that's even one of the reasons why, like, when I went up there, I was like, yo, listen, whatever we put out, I want us to agree with it. I'm like, yo, we both press the button. That was our agreement. And, obviously we'll do much more stuff, but that was the thought. So I don't know if that was his demeanor towards, like, remember he did the interview with Gilly and Wallow, but it looked like they weren't necessarily on the same page with that, right? It looked like they weren't necessarily on the same page with that, but Gilly had said this back then.
Say this, right? To all the people that's in my DM that be like, yo, get such and such on the podcast. Get such and such on the podcast. Get such and such on the podcast. A lot of them people we reach out to, but they don't come to us because they can't control the narrative. That's why they go to a little white girl that you never heard of. Or that's why they go to a little white dude that you ain't never heard of because they can't control the narrative over here. You hear me? We not recording you. We not sending you nothing to look at. We don't ask nut-ass questions. So why would we have to send you something to review? We ain't doing that shit. So a lot of times when y'all see motherfuckers and y'all like, get them on the podcast. If they can't control the narrative, they don't want to come. So we don't want your bitch ass. We street niggas. You don't control nothing over here. And we ain't running out of no money. Fuck wrong with them. We reach out to y'all motherfuckers. They want to go get with the motherfuckers they can control.
Now, some people thought that was kind of aimed at YoungBoy because I think they did the interview, but it took a while to come out. Regardless, I still think, that's still some light stuff, right? Like, this happened years ago. Nothing else happened. By the way, I haven't spoke to YoungBoy about what could have possibly sparked this. But, again, it looked like he's taking aim at Gilly. I don't know what sparked this at all. Now, I do feel bad that people target Gilly with his son and mention constantly, like Charleston White did the same, mention the fact that his son died and basically almost telling him like, nigga, when you gonna slide, when you gonna slide, when you gonna slide, when you gonna slide. And I think when we look at, like for example, I don't know if you guys ever heard the whole story, Gilly, son, cheese. Like there's like a whole thing about it because there was actually some shit that happened afterwards. You get what I'm saying? I think the guys who killed him ended up dying. So the story goes, Gilly's son goes to hang out on a block with a couple of guys. And supposedly was one of those wrong place, wrong time. He's hanging on a block with dudes that are beefing with other dudes. After he pulls up to the block, minutes later, the ops pull up and they shoot up the block indiscriminately. They're not even trying to kill Gilly's son, right? They're trying to kill whoever they're into it with. And apparently Gilly's son catches a couple of shots and dies. Apparently the dude who did the killing, he got killed. He got killed afterwards. Apparently he got killed in front of his mom too. Here we go.
A young Philly basketball star with a bright future.
This is the guy who supposedly killed Gilly's son.
Ahead of him, got gunned down, living a double life. That boy tried to be a rapper, and this is ops, and they killed that boy within 24 hours.
Breaking details on the homicide investigation of 17-year-old Noah Scurry. He's the star student athlete gunned down outside his home in front of his mother while getting ready to head to Samuel Fells High School. And that's where our Kelly Rule is live for us tonight. Kelly, what are you learning?
Well, Sheba, police say they are looking for at least 2 people for this homicide, possibly a third, and they believe they do have the vehicle that was used in the crime. But tonight, law enforcement sources are telling me they believe Noah Scurry appeared in a rap video with guns that was posted to social media the day before he was killed.
The streets is saying that this kid allegedly was involved in killing Gilly's son for $1 million worth of game after Gilly's son died in a shooting.
Tributes are pouring in for the 25-year-old known as YNG Cheese. Police say 1 man died and 2 others were hurt in the shooting on Masher Street in Olney. It happened before 8:30 last night. They say the victim was shot once in the back. NBC 10 has confirmed that victim is son of longtime Philly rapper Gilly the Kid.
First thing I ever told anybody. And I was like, man, Cheese, go on. And I never seen him like that. So it was like, in some type of way, it was like, I had to tell him the worst shit ever.
And this right here is a case of a young man who was living a life that he ain't had no business living. The young basketball star Noah Scurry was the top scorer on a team, and the boy could have went to the NBA.
This is video of Noah Scurry doing what he loved, playing basketball for Fells High School. But district officials say he was much more than just a star athlete.
They say this boy had the top SAT scores in the whole school.
Who was killed was exceptional. He scored remarkably high on his SAT.
Yo, you know niggas wanted him dead. They shot him 17 times in front of his mom.
The star basketball player.
The boy was top genius and had a brain that could have took him anywhere he wanted to go in life. And where did he decide to go? To the streets.
Scurry was a victim in a previous shooting back in May 2023 on the 4600 block of Mulberry Street. Our camera there as police investigated. In that shooting, a man in his 60s was killed.
That boy Noah had 2 Instagram pages. He had a main page that was cookie cutter that had his basketball life. Then he had a second page where he wore a mask on his face and betrayed himself as the Joker. Because let's be real, he knew that if he was out here holding up guns and rapping, trying to be in the streets, a lot of colleges wouldn't have picked him up. So he decided to live a double life.
You gon' need another hand trying to count on my body. Sure, keep fuck, I done finally got it. I do a bitch bad if the bitch trying to line me. Outside on the 4 or 5 deep in the Johnny. All these niggas keep telling when they ask about body. You're certain what the fits are if you look quality. First thing they say when they talk about slime. I got it, don't use it, I'm taking it.
I don't know why he decided to join this gang, but the crew that the boy joined up with is from a well-known Philly neighborhood that's known for a lot of shootings.
Learned the identity of 2 brothers shot to death in East Mount Airy after a neighborhood dispute. Detectives are still trying to figure out who opened fire, killing the 23 and 24-year-olds.
I just heard gunshots and I dropped my kids to the floor, lay on top of them, and we didn't look out the windows. We just lay flat.
This mother of 4 lives upstairs from the 2 men shot and killed outside this East Mount Airy apartment house.
Noah's actions all tragically came to a head when his enemies decided to wait out front of his house, found out where he lived at, and when he was on his way to school, they rolled past and hit him up.
The student, according to police, was getting in the car on his way to school behind his house with his mom. So this is something that is quite unimaginable.
Police say it all happened in an alleyway behind Rohr Street, just off Roosevelt Boulevard, around 7 this morning. At least 20 shots fired in what they believe was a targeted attack. There was a backpack left in the middle of the crime scene, surrounded by shell casings.
The video also shows a white Jeep Grand Cherokee take off from the alley behind the teen's home on Rohr Street early Tuesday morning, right after the shooting. Police say they located the Jeep that matches a description of the car they were looking for in Northeast Philadelphia.
And now a man that they say is Gilly's nephew just posted on IG, quote, "Just know they did it first." And then Gil's alleged nephew posted a picture of Gilly's deceased son, Cheese, with a caption reading, "Get your rest, Cheesy." That boy gassed now. Possibly hinting to the fact that people in Philly believe that Noah may have allegedly had something to do with Gilly's son being murdered. Allegedly.
Concerned, there had not been any issues between this person who was killed and any other student. They don't know of anything going on in the community as well.
Yo, that person, I don't know if they work for the school. They're so fucking clueless. Yeah, you know, the spokesperson, they're like, yeah, the guy was a good kid. Yo, the guy who wore a Joker mask made diss songs at niggas, and apparently he was killing people, including Gilly's son. He killed Gilly's son, supposedly. The spokesperson for the school said, yeah, this was a good kid. He had a bright future. What are you talking about?
Was killed and any other student. They don't know of anything going on in the community as well.
This Noah Scurry situation is a tragic situation. And first off, I want to say RIP to the young boy. You understand what I'm saying? World in his hands. And then unfortunately he fell.
Yeah, that was crazy. And apparently Gilly talked about this, and he talked about this for Shannon.
I just read, I saw about the 17-year-old basketball player, straight A student. Am I wrong, Gilly? It used to be like the athletes, they got protected.
Right.
Nobody touched them. Hey, he good now. He gonna be what we, they're gonna be talking about the block. He from the block, he got out. They protected those guys. What happened?
That's who killed my son.
The 17?
Yeah. The 17-year-old basketball player that just got shot 17 times?
Yes.
That's who killed my son.
Really?
Yes.
What was that about?
Well, it wasn't for my son.
Your son happened to be there?
Yes.
Oh.
Them blocks is beefing. They going through it. My son just so happened to pull up out there 5 minutes. They come to shoot the block up. My son's not from that block. He don't, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just so happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
What the?
That's how deep it is.
Bro, he has the potential to get out.
Right.
And he living that life?
No. But see, you don't understand. He got videos out where he got a Joker mask on.
Right.
Bunch of guns in his hand. So these kids is influenced by all the wrong things.
Right.
to shit that don't matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
To shit that once upon a time when I was growing up in the ghetto, I was influenced by.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you experience things, when you go places, when a vacation to you is not going through a toll booth. See, you got to understand, if you from Philly right now, go to Atlantic City and you call them and they say they out of town. Yo, I'm OT. I hit you, nigga. You 45 minutes away, nigga. You went through the toll booth. The are you talking about? That's how poor the city is.
Right.
Motherfucker go to Atlantic City and they tell you, yo, I'm OT. I'll call you when I get back.
Right.
You 39 minutes away in a car, nigga. What are you talking about? You OT. So you got to understand.
Right.
That's what we grow up in. These kids don't know no better.
Right.
These kids actually think that you can't make it as a rapper unless you killed somebody. Unless you did something out here in these streets.
Mm.
This is the mindset.
Yeah. Why is the rap, why is that glamorized? Why is going to jail or I pull that iron out, I put that stick on something? Why is that glamorized?
I have no idea. I told you when I was young, we glamorized the person that was getting money, the hustler. That's why rap names was like Gotti. Rap games, it was always somebody that was getting some money. Now, it don't be about no money or nothing. They'll kill you about an Instagram post.
Right.
You said you was gonna slide, you ain't slide yet.
Right.
Now I slid. Like, are you serious?
Right.
So it don't make no sense. And it's no answer for it. It's just flat out plain stupidity. The only reason why I know is because the police called me and told me once he was murdered. Once he got, because the kid had just got shot 17 times. He was walking with his mom.
Oh.
And he got murdered. And then the police notified me and let me know that he was one of the kids that was pretty much about to get locked up for the murder, but he got murdered first. So, and then, you know, when you do something in the streets know. So, you know, they all on Instagram and they talk, and then, you know, apparently this kid name was the Joker, and, you know, that's what he did. So, you know, but he had to deal with God. You know, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
If you want
and we're not even gonna get back into this, but yeah, the guy went by the Joker. This guy was doing a lot, man. Y'all got to see one of these videos. This was the kid. Somebody said another Sean Gatherite for sure. Chat, I'm trying to get, you know what I'm trying to get on? Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to call. I had told him to wait, but like I forgot. I should have called him before. Damn. Let me see. This is, y'all know the dude who said Stephon Diggs tried to fuck him? Yeah, he was going to come on here and detail how Stephon Diggs tried to fuck him.
Your call has been forwarded to voice.
Oh, man. I don't know why that should make me laugh so much, bro. Stephon Diggs' accuser wants to get on streams, or wants to get on stream, and kind of break it down how Stephon Diggs and whoever else try to, like, pipe him out. He's suing Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is suing him, too. Damn, he was around earlier. Recently, Cardi B called him out and was like, bro, you lying, nigga. You lying like a motherfucker. Stop lying. So he wanted to come in and kind of clarify his story. I don't know where he went. Maybe he fell asleep. He must have fell asleep, huh? Okay. All right. Well, when he hits me back, I'll put him on. All right. All right. What else? What else before we get to that? Let me look. Durk. Oh yeah. We could get a Durk conversation going on. All right, great news for Durk, man. This was a really great news in anticipation of, if you don't know, his trial is starting in a month. So Durk's trial for murder for hire is starting in a month. If you don't know the whole story, he's accused of orchestrating and paying for the murder of Lil Pop. It was supposed to be Quando Rondo, but Quando Rondo luckily escaped death, and his cousin got killed. Now, the people who are accused of carrying out the murder, they were charged alongside Lil Durk in a sweeping indictment that accused them of a murder for hire plot. What's happened since Durk has been locked up is like a lot of things in terms of even the case changing. Now, recently, the prosecutors wanted to include under a violent crime in aid of a racketeering enterprise, they wanted to involve other crimes. So it's like a version of the RICO that you could bring in other criminal activity. And they were trying to bring in the activity of Lil Durk supposedly shooting somebody in Atlanta, and also Lil Durk allegedly paying for the murder of another man named Stephon Mack in Chicago. That guy, Stephon Mack, was linked to his brother's death, which his brother's name is D-Thing. The win that he got in court is that the judge actually agreed with Drew Finland and Brian Steele that it severely prejudices Durk's chance of not only, number one, getting a speedy trial, but number two, of defending himself when the government at the last minute just throws a bunch of new charges into the mix, hoping they could get a conviction. So the judge says, hey, listen, you guys can file your charges. We're just severing these charges, and we're severing it from the current case. The current case he's slated to go defend is going to be defended on, again, August 20th. And by the way, they're at the point they're starting to get jury and other stuff prepared. They're saying you can't try to backdoor Durk with last minute charges because it's going to push the case back. He wants a speedy trial. I'm going to play you the press conference in a while. But I do want to read you the order by the judge. The judge did put an order, and this is what the order said. So the order is the motion to grant defendant Durk Banks' motion to sever the counts, denying defendants Wilson and well, this is another motion. They keep putting in motions to sever the defendants, so they don't want to they don't want to go to trial with Durk, which actually helps them or helps Durk too, because remember, if it's murder for hire, number one, they're accusing all of y'all in being a conspiracy. If they separate the charges, it is more likely that you could defend yourself by saying, I wasn't with this guy, or that's not what happened. Because remember, now the conspiracy has the defendants with different cases. There's a lot more play you could do. And when I mean play, there's a lot more angles and wiggle room you could have when you're not charged with your co-defendants or you're not going to trial with your co-defendants in a conspiracy case. Anyway, let's just read the motion. Before the court, the following motions. The defendant Banks filed a motion to sever counts in the alternative to dismiss the motion to sever counts on July 29th. We don't have to read the other motions because those motions are denied, and those are to sever the trials. So this is what the judge says. The judge says the motion to sever the counts is granted. Count 1 and 6 are severed from counts 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the superseding indictment, the TSI. And the third superseding indictment, trial on 2, 3, 4, and 5 will proceed at this time, August 20th. Now, this is the interesting part. It doesn't mean because the charges are severed from this current trial means Durk doesn't have to answer to them. Now, maybe they could get dismissed, but Durk will deal with that at a different time. And also, if that's the only thing he has to deal with, he has a favorable chance as well. So anyway, so count 1 and 6 are severed, right? So 1 and 6, he's going to have to answer to a different time. It says the court exercises its undoubted discretion for the reasons argued in the motion to sever counts and discussed at the hearing. In particular, the clarity of issues for the jurors in the Los Angeles trial outweighs the inconvenience to the second set of jurors in the Vicker trial. It has been and remains the court's intention that the Los Angeles trial will include all admissible evidence that is not unduly prejudicial under Rule 403. Therefore, the government cannot be prejudiced by this severance. The government chose to withdraw evidence from the Chicago incident in the Los Angeles trial for the reason expressed in the prior order denying severance. The renewed motion. Okay, we don't have to read this. Okay. Bet. Now, the trial is going to happen. Here is a press conference that Drew Finland did. And this is him talking about the win they had in court.
Okay, so look, we're going to be very, very brief because as our incredible colleague Christy O'Connor said, there's not a lot to actually say given the thoroughness of his Honor's analysis of everything that was filed. So the docket really speaks for itself. There was incredible filings and briefings done, and such a great job by Ms. O'Connor. And so we appreciate the fact that His Honor, it was one of those days that makes it so rewarding to be a trial attorney when a judge takes everything that was submitted and goes through it so thoroughly and in such great detail. And so I'll ask you that was in the courtroom and that have read the filings to rely on His Honor's questions today and the points that he made. And as you, but most importantly, as our innocent client, Durk Banks, and I emphasize our innocent client, Durk Banks, is waiting. We are looking forward to the close of business today when we get this order so that we can see if we can be at this courthouse on August 20th of 2026 for the trial that we've been working on and preparing for 22 months. So we appreciate you all being here today, but we're super excited for His Honor's order to come out today, and we so appreciate the thoroughness that took place in that courtroom today. So with that being said, we're not going to do any questions, but we appreciate everybody who's here today. Thank you.
Okay, Brian Steele smiling. Apparently, Traplo Ross was there. He was there at the courthouse, and we'll tune into my boy Traplo Ross.
Growing up.
For the update that he witnessed in court. He said, I just saw Lil Durk win in court. Let's see what he saw.
All right, so I'm here at the federal courthouse in downtown.
Yo, Trap Lore, them glasses are crazy. These glasses is crazy, gang. My nigga got the joints that is shades when you flip him down, and they're like see-through when you flip him up. Holy.
LA, I just attended the Lil Durk trial for the first day. Now, I'm not even allowed my proper camera, anywhere near the building, so I'm just filming this quick intro, but I'm going to go and sit down and write down, let you guys know all of my notes, but I'm literally here at the courthouse. Brian Steele and Drew Findling are about to come out and speak to the press. I'm hopefully going to be able to film what they had to say to people, and then I've got a massive, massive amount of notes, and I'm not going to lie to you, this might have been the best court date that Durk has had so far. I might have been wrong, because he just took an insane W in court. I could not believe it. There were moments where, like, the whole courthouse was just aghast with how good this was going for Durk. It was actually unbelievable. It was a huge W, and I think the judge is going to make a big ruling in Durk's favor after this. I'm in shock. So there's a lot going on. There's like construction going on. The audio is probably terrible. I don't have my microphone. The federal courthouse is a lot more.
Here we go.
Inside the court next time, because we just between Young Boy and Durk and how that all spiraled out of control with what happened with Quando Rondo and King Von and Lil Pab. So yeah, I will keep you guys posted anytime I hear anything new, any updates.
What went down, and it was, I'm not going to lie, it was a bloodbath for the prosecution. They got absolutely smoked.
Now, here's the thing. We're talking about the best lawyers in the land. Drew Finland is known as the billion-dollar attorney. He's rumored to charge in excess of $3,000 an hour. Whether he's picking up the phone, and you know, goddamn it, if he got to go to trial, you at least guaranteed him $1 million or $2 million. They brought on Brian Steele. That got Young Thug out of jail. Lil Durk is paying the cost for the best legal representation money could buy. And it's days like this. And if you don't know, you know, they talk about the feds this and third. Usually, the lawyer you get, the prosecutor might be a better lawyer than the lawyer you get. When you're paying $4,000 an hour for an attorney, that lawyer is head and shoulders above all of them prosecutors. That's the reason why they're in the private practice making that bread. If the prosecutors could make that bread, they'd do it too, right? Remember, that's a government appointed position. And by the way, this is Fed, so this is AUSAs. Now, we were waiting. Okay, he's paying the fees. When are these lawyers going to come through? You know, obviously, Diddy paid the money too. But Diddy had a favorable result. He only got 3 years. It looks like it's dwindling down, like he's going to be out. Some people are saying maybe end of 2027. But we're now realizing that Durk, having these great lawyers, he's finally scoring, let's say, a small victory. You can't really celebrate too crazy because he still could get convicted. But to sever this charge is a big thing.
Is crazy. Now, before we get any further, I just want to make it very clear. Everybody's saying, oh, Ross, you're changing your tune. You're always saying Durk's cooked. This doesn't uncook Durk. All this means is that he is currently having a W. If they separate the two murder charges into separate trials, that will help him massively. That will help him massively. It's still going to be tough. They're still allegedly got snitches that are on both cases that are telling on Durk, and it is very bad.
I don't know how they're going to remedy the snitches, but I think Brian Steele, I think he gets brought in to deal with that. I do think he's going to play the same role, or a kind of same role that he did with Diddy's trial. He's an attack dog. We seen him in court for Young Thug. You bring him in to dismantle a witness. When they're done with those snitches on there, them snitches might just like end up just snitching on themselves and get the fuck off that stage or off the stand. But I think they brought him in for the snitching, for some of the snitches. Drew Finland, who's still a boss, he's going to run the whole show. He's going to be the Mark Agnifilo. So they're kind of creating this team. I wouldn't even be surprised if Durk doesn't add another lawyer before August 20th. Okay? Now, just like in the Diddy case, Diddy added some lawyers last minute. They told Diddy, we're not extending the trial. But clearly here, Lil Durk says he wants a speedy trial. So even if he adds another lawyer, he's going to have to still stick with this date.
But it does mean that he is going to avoid any prejudice of the jury, knowing that he's got bodies on bodies on bodies. It's going to be one body at a time, LA body, Chicago body, separate trials.
Okay, I'm glad that he just said that. Because what's going to happen as well is that because the counts has been severed, they're not going to be allowed to mention this. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to be allowed to mention the allegations of the Chicago murder for hire. Keep in mind, as a juror, if you hear one allegation of someone doing something, you're like, maybe they didn't do it. If you hear 5 allegations, like, oh no, that's their MO. You might be like, man, this guy, he probably is, like, even if he ain't do this one, he probably did one of the other 4.
Less racketeering, gang conspiracy, and the judge hasn't ruled on it yet. I expect the judge is going to make the ruling later today that they are going to allow the charges to be severed. And, look, it doesn't uncook Durk, but it also gives him a really great step forward so that he can then have some W's and some improvements. So just to give you a little bit of backstory, okay, so Durk's legal team basically filed paperwork. I'm not going to sit here and read you all the paperwork like I have done in the past, okay, but basically, they asked the court either separate the newly added charges from the case or dismiss them entirely. They argued the government caused the delays. And some of the stuff in this filing was a little bit ridiculous. They said that basically, when the government clapped back, they kind of said, look, we don't want Durk to basically be able to cherry pick what charges he fancies facing. Well, that's not what the judge was trying to hear today. The judge was saying it's not about Durk cherry picking what charges he wants to face. It's really about not adding a bunch of stuff last minute that is going to be prejudicial and make the jury have shitloads more to get through, rather than two separate juries. So this is the actual paperwork. This was Durk's response basically to, you know, the previous edition of charges. I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but basically they're saying that they've endangered his...
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen some people saying what they feel Durk is going to get. They're like, he's going to get a minimum of 15 years. I just seen DeVore on Kick say that, keep in mind, if he's found guilty of murder for hire, it's automatically life in prison. Like, the stakes are high here. They don't play around when it comes to these conspiracy murder charges. There's no like, oh, give him 5 years. You know, it's either life or not, right? We've heard nothing about a plea. I don't think this is going to be a situation where they're going to offer him a lengthy plea, nor I think they will, nor I think he would take that anyway. I think he's either going to beat it or he's going to get convicted.
Speedy trial rights. They've added all these new charges last minute. You know, they should have been available a long time ago. They're doing all of this right up close to his August 20th trial date. And basically they're saying that, you know, this has endangered the trial date. They're not allowing him his opportunity to get a speedy trial. They're adding all this stuff really close to the deadlines. But when the prosecution clapped back in this paperwork, they basically said we were trying to correct any factual assertions, basically correcting things that they said that Durk's reply was not giving a full explanation, okay? And this is the same stuff that ended up getting brought up in court. They basically said, you know, they got co-conspirator 4's iCloud on June the 8th. You know, they got some more information. They got more details. People were examining the iCloud, basically saying that we got a bunch of new information and we had to add these new charges. We did them as soon as we could. And as I covered in a previous video, they basically gave the information as quickly as they could. And it's kind of like, you know, the prosecution,
a little bit.
He got more up aura than all the rappers.
Yeah, because I want him to give his eyewitness test or eyewitness details of what he saw in court. How does Durk look? What's his body language? That's what I want to hear from Trap Lord, because we read that documentary.
It was looking like it had $1 billion budget. I'm not saying that the courthouse
here we go
was covered today. I'm just going to break this down for you guys. I'm not going to react to anything else in this video. I'm just going to not read from my notebook, but I'm going to kind of like go from my notes and basically just give you the backstory of everything that was covered today in great detail. I was writing as fast as my fingers possibly could. It was crazy. So I'm going to tell you the whole story of everything that went down. So I pulled up to the federal courthouse. Now, this courthouse was looking like it had $1 billion budget. I'm not saying that the courthouse for the state or for the city of Los Angeles is run down, but having attended the David trial, that courthouse ain't as balling as this courthouse. This courthouse was looking like a brand new built airport or an embassy. It reminded me of the American Embassy in London, the new American Embassy in Battersea in London. It just looks absolutely magnificent, beautiful glass, beautiful structure. You could tell even just walking into the building, the Fed's got that real big budget money. Unlike the state of California, unlike the city, that courthouse is cool, it's nice, but it's like this courthouse was like something futuristic and high tech. I went there really early because I thought tons of people would be there. There was no one there, not a soul. I was the first person in there. I was in there for an hour by myself, just sending voice notes and just completely empty. I was thinking, did I get the date wrong? Am I in the wrong place? But I was in the right place. This is exactly where it was going down. So I waited around. I spoke to a few other journalists that eventually came through after I'd been sat there for quite a long time. And it was very, very interesting. So I was there waiting for people to come. I start seeing people turn up, a few people I recognized. And then Brian Steele and Drew Findling pulled up. And I got to say, they were looking like celebrities. It was big aura. Brian Steele's aura is off the charts. I can't lie to you. When Brian Steele popped out, it was like he genuinely had the most... I don't know if I've ever seen... He got more up aura than all the rappers. This guy was looking like money. He was looking confident. He was looking successful. He was well kept. Drew Findling, on the other hand, Drew Findling got aura, but he kind of a little bit disheveled on the mad genius kind of vibe. Brian Steele looking more clean cut, like...
Nah, usually Drew Findling is the more clean. Like, even his suit gives $1 billion lawyer.
Absolutely sharp as hell. Absolutely sharp as hell. And when they walked in, okay, it was just like... It was like a movie. Brian Steele, Drew Findling walk in with their whole crew. It was like everyone turned and looked at them. It was straight aura farming, to be honest with you. They were looking absolutely incredible. They were looking sharp, and you could really see why, you know, these are such a crack team, such a dream team of lawyers, okay? And I'll be honest with you guys, you know, having actually seen this sort of in real life, seeing how this plays out, I've got a lot more confidence in Durk now. This is really a good team. Now, they're definitely going to bleed him dry. I don't think that aura comes cheap, and I'm sure it's costing an absolute fortune, but they turned up and did the business. It was insane. So from there, okay, I had a little conversation even with Lil Durk. He's got like a publicist kind of person that was there. She was actually very nice to me, in spite of the negative coverage that I've done.
That's Holly Beard. Diddy hired her too. See, you got to assemble a team. Holly Beard, really good publicist. She's gonna make sure that the government don't feed shit to TMZ that makes him look super cooked before they pick the jury.
On Durk, and you know, she was just kind of like, you're doing what you got to do, you know, you got to talk about this. I'm glad you're here talking about this. I don't know if she knew that it was going to go well that day, but it was almost like, yeah, you know, let's see what you got to say about this one. And it was very, very impressive. Honestly, it was a really, really great show. So not show, but like the show that his defense put on was brilliant. And the judge really was... I'll talk about the judge in a minute, okay? So we walk into the courtroom. It finally opens up, all right? We went and sat down, and Durk was talking with Drew. He was talking with Brian. Durk had a huge grin on his face. I've talked before about David. He looks a bit down sometimes. He looks a little bit up other times, kind of smiling. Durk was straight cheesing, smiling, Durk was the absolute epitome of confidence in that courtroom. He was smiling, he was cheesing, he was laughing. He did not look like a man that was facing two bodies. That's just my honest take. People saying I'm biased. Durk looked so confident. I was stunned. I was stunned at the confidence that Durk was showing. He looked calm. He looked happy. He was really cheesing. I don't know if he got like a diamond in one of his teeth or something, but like, I swear there was a twinkle. Pause. As like a twit, like Durk was just looking confident like money. So Durk, Brian, and Drew all together laughing. You looking at them thinking, oh, these guys actually, like, these guys are trial ready. Like, these are serious. Seeing that in person definitely changed my perspective a little bit. I'll just be completely honest, okay? I'm not somebody that, oh, I've got an anti-Durk vendetta. I've seen it with my own eyes, and he's looking way more confident than I was expecting. Converse that with David. David looking burnt out. He putting on a little bit of a show. Durk looked genuinely like he knew what he was doing. Durk looked so confident. I could not believe it, okay? They were laughing and joking loads before the trial. Durk and Brian Steele and Drew Finn and Lay really cracking up. Like, they laughing. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but they having a little conference. They whispering. Durk really smiling. Looking. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe the confidence that Durk had. I could not believe it. I've never seen Durk perform, all right? Hopefully, you know, I mean, I don't even know, but like, to see Durk in the flesh in person after all of the content that I've done over him, about him over the years, was surreal, to be completely honest with you. So everyone was in awe of Brian Steele. He had straight aura when he came in. Everyone was excited. Even in the courtroom, it almost felt like even the prosecution, it's like Brian Steele walks in, it's like, oh, hot damn. It was like the oxygen just got sucked out of the room, like, Brian Steele's here. It was actually crazy. This man has, I'm telling you, Brian Steele has aura on another level. It was insane. So I did notice, okay, Durk's co-defendants, particularly Dee, you know, they were all kind of sat behind him. Him and his other co-defendants were all there. So just to like refresh your memory, right? The people that I saw that were there, we basically saw, you know, still included in this stage, DeAndre, Dontel Wilson, David, Brian, Lindsay, and Asa Houston. So they were all there sat.
By the way, we haven't heard nothing from Vonnie.
Behind Durk. Now, obviously, there were 5 people on this case originally, and some of those people didn't see no Vonnie, all right? Saw Dee, David, Brian, Lindsay. So Dee, Brown Eyes, Boogie, didn't see no Flacker, didn't see no Dee, okay? Didn't see them. Didn't see them. They weren't there, all right? But that's who was there, and I'll keep it real with you. I'll be honest with you. Okay, no, I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, let me keep talking about Durk, because Durk was looking sharp. Not only was he looking happy, he was looking comfortable. He had very kind of short, cropped hair. He looked sharp. He looked fresh. He honestly looked like music video shoot ready. He didn't look disheveled like David has some of these days. He looked really sharp. He looked really well put together. You know, he had a clean haircut. And him and Drew and Brian kind of had like a little huddle right before things started. You know, they were sort of like going over their strategy, confident as hell. Now, the other co-defendants, I'm not going to lie, I don't know. I don't think Durk saw me. I was kind of obviously looking at Durk most of the time, trying to see what was going on. He had bigger fish to fry. Okay, he had bigger fish to fry. He was kind of, you know, just in the zone, I would say. However, okay, I'm pretty sure Dee locked eyes with me And he looked like he's seen a guy. He looked so surprised. And then he sort of nodded to one of, like, a couple of the other co-defendants, almost like, hey, look who's in the courtroom. That was kind of surreal. That was crazy. I was just like, what the hell? Durk was sat in front of them, so it wasn't like they could be like, yo, Durk, look who's here. But it was like he was sat in front of them, kind of closer. Imagine this is the courtroom, and like all of the audience are here at the bottom near the front doors. It's like Durk and his team are sort of on one side near the center, and then the co-defendants was kind of behind Durk here. So they had a better view of like who else was in the back of the courtroom, and Durk was a lot more in the middle. The prosecutors and the defense were facing each other in a desk in the middle, and then the judge right at the top. That's kind of how it was arranged. But yeah, Dee see me and was just like what? He was taken aback. I'm not gonna lie, and he was kind of like, hey, look to the other two. It was just like, hey, look who here. That was crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. But anyway, okay. Basically, Drew. Okay, let me just back up and tell you what was going on. I would say there was definitely a show of confidence, kind of Durk being confident, laughing, smiling, and being happy. Meanwhile, the prosecutors looked very, very serious. Now, little did I know when I wrote the note saying that they looked serious, little did I know they were about to get chewed out. They were about to get chewed up and spat out. Okay, so the prosecutors looked very serious. Durk and his team looked very confident, and that is how the courtroom played out. The prosecutors were on the back ropes the whole time, and Durk's team were very confident. They didn't even need to say much. The judge was I don't want to say the judge was on their side, because I think he was impartial, but I do feel like the judge really was just kind of like calling out the bullshit of the prosecutors, and the judge did give a little bit of backlash to Durk's team, but they handled it much better. Now, as this is going on, just as things are about to start, more and more people are coming in. So Durk's wife, India, came in, okay? She hugged Brian Steele. They had like a very sweet embrace, and Durk looked so happy to see his wife. Durk was kind of really staring at India quite a lot. It looked like she actually gave him a lot of energy, very kind of nurturing vibe. She gave him a lot of strength. It felt like she walked in the courtroom and charged him up even more. Like he was looking in his element, to be honest with you. It was very interesting. So basically, my handwriting's terrible here. What did that say? Durk kind of... Wait. What the fuck's Louis C.K.? Dude looked just like Louis C.K. I'm not trying to hold you. Like, it was so surreal. But basically, like, Durk had 3 lawyers, okay? All of the co-defendants that were sat behind him, each of them had their own respective individual lawyer. So it was a very big team. And then there were basically just like 3 prosecutors. So it was a big, it was a lot of people in the room, a lot of people at the bench and at the table and things like that. So this was all a hearing for the paperwork that I just showed you at the start of this. It was a motion to sever the Vicar counts, which is the murder of Stefan Mack under the gang conspiracy that happened in Chicago, to separate that from the Lil Pab murder. Now, what is very, very interesting is pretty much from the get-go, the judge was on the prosecutor's ass. The judge was so to the point. I would say the judge, not to put down the judge on the David trial, but the judge in the Durk case was like so professional, so on point, didn't take any bullshit, got straight to it, was just saying what he felt. This is what it is. This is what it's like. So the judge basically came out, said, I've looked at both petitions, all right, and they basically said he basically said, I'm not going to say it in the legalese because I couldn't quite write down everything he said, but he basically said the law of speedy trial and the Speedy Trial Act, it doesn't dictate his decision. He said it's guidance, but it's up to him. He said he's the judge. What he says goes. That is something he can take into consideration. But the Speedy Trial Act and what Durk's trying to say, that's not going to influence his decision. Now, when he said that, I was thinking, oh, shit, Durk's about to have a rough day in court. But then suddenly, everything turned around. He said, if I sever and give a date on both of the different trials... Okay, it was kind of weird. He said if I severed and gave a date on both of the different trials, it wouldn't make sense. So the judge basically said it's silly for Durk and his team to ask for the whole indictment to be dropped on the basis that they've added all this stuff in at last minute. So at the start, it sounded like the judge was kind of cooking Durk a little bit and basically saying, look, previously you wanted to sever the defendants, but now you're asking to sever the charges. And he's basically saying, look, a lot of the stuff that didn't fly before, it is different now. He basically said it is different. Like these new charges that have been added, they've been added last minute. It's a Vicar charge. It's a murder. It's basically this big overarching RICO conspiracy. And he said, look, you're asking to sever charges now. You previously asked to sever defendants' cases from each other. And he said, I didn't grant that. He seemed to infer like that's not on the table no more. Separate.
By the way, Vicar is violent crimes in aid of racketeering.
You guys ain't even on the table. But he basically said, now you're asking for counts to be severed. And he said that he's taken that seriously. So the judge basically said that the government's He basically said that like the severance motion is all under his discretion. It sounded a little bit like he was even suggesting that maybe he felt that like the prosecutors were taking liberties a little bit and you know, being a bit presumptuous, acting like they laying down the law. And he basically is like, it's under my discretion. Doesn't matter what the Speedy Trial Act says. Doesn't matter what you guys point out and say you can't pick and choose, as I said in the previous video, a buffet of charges. He said it is up to him, and he's the one weighing up the factors for justice. And he basically kept saying, what's the prejudice? You need to think about what's the prejudice, and that's what's going to make a difference in this. And what was really interesting, he said, trying 2 cases instead of 1, what's the problem with that? He called out, this is when it really started to turn around in Durk's favor. He called out the prosecutors, and he basically said to them, you know, you guys are saying it's going to be so harsh for the jury to have a severed trial, and we're going to have 2 whole juries impaneled, and we're going to waste all this time and court resources. And he smoked them, to be honest. He said, what's so bad about having 2 different cases instead of 1? He said, it's prosecutor's job. It's your job to try cases. He didn't say this, but he basically, it was inferring like, don't be lazy. So what? He's not dismissing the charges. He basically was like, look, dismissing the charges ain't really up for debate right now. But he's like, what is wrong with severing this? If you adding this in so last minute, it's not really fair. So you basically are hired to be a prosecutor and try cases. You're gonna have to try 2 cases. They said it's prosecutor's job to try cases. It's the cops and the investigator's job to come to trials and testify. And he said that he completely disagreed with prosecutors, that it would be a waste of resources because it's their job, it's the investigator's job to testify, and it's the jury's job to come and be impartial and break down these trials. And he basically said that the first severed trial would be simple. It's the LA murder. He said we need to keep it simple. You can't have all this complicated shit, confusing the juries, taking things out of context, adding these extra Chicago murders that happened before the LA trial. You're putting a Chicago murder on Durk that happened at the start of 2022. You're putting that superseding the murder that happened in August of 2022. It's a previous thing, and really it was all about the LA murder to begin with. So he's basically saying the first trial for the LA murder would have been simple. It should have been simple. And he said that this is really, really interesting, to be honest with you. Even though it was a W for Durk, there were some stuff that made me think, oh, he's not uncooked. Because the judge basically, whenever the judge mentioned the LA murder, and this really, really shocked me, he basically said, and I wrote this down verbatim, when he mentioned this, he said the LA murder, but every time he said it, he would mention something very negative. He would say, the LA murder, this was a terrible threat to the peace and the streets of LA, right? So he said that every time he brought it, he didn't just say the LA murder, he would say this LA murder, which was a horrendous act, a terrible threat to the streets of LA. He said this was, he described...
Well, obviously, it was definitely a heinous act, but the judge is not going to be determining if he's guilty or not. That's a jury.
The murder of Savia Robinson, Lil Pab, he said he didn't just say the murder, he said this disgusting and despicable murder. So when you're hearing that, you're thinking, okay, Durk's taking a W, but at the same time, don't get it twisted. This judge is a tough cookie, and he ain't a Durk fan. He just laying down the law as he sees it, and today was not the prosecutor's day. But if it gets to that trial, and that evidence starts looking bad for Durk, he's going to be up against a really, really tough judge. Literally, he's like, this murder, which, by the way, was disgusting and despicable. Those are his exact words. That kind of blew my mind. I was thinking, surely he's not allowed to say, how do we know? Isn't it to the jury to decide it was disgusting and despicable? But apparently not. It's on the judge can say this was disgusting and despicable, heinous crime. You know, it threatened the safety of the streets of LA. And I'd always try and remind people that's what this is about. It's not about, oh, trying to score points on Durk. I don't like Durk. For the jury to kind of understand, understand the LA murder, understand the attempts to flee. It really should just be self-contained, and the jurors should just consider those things. He said that there's simplicity in the severance, and he basically kind of went on to say, well, really, you're all arguing about what you deserve, what Durk wants, speedy trial, what the prosecutors want. And he said what really matters is what Lil Pab's mother would actually want. And he said that he hadn't heard from her yet. And he said it's not fair to delay her justice so that the state can throw on this huge vicar extra murder charge. And the judge said at the end of the day, it's all up to him. He's going to take into account Lil Pab's family and what they want to do, not what the prosecutors want to do. The prosecutors want to add this murder on last minute and tack it on and make the whole situation look way worse for Durk, and then rush it to the August trial. And it sounded like he wasn't going for it. He wasn't feeling it. Now, while this is all going on, I kind of turned around and then I realized, oh shit, Big Durk's in here. So Durk's father and Durk's mother actually came in a little bit late, but they still came into the courtroom, came and sat in the back. And, you know, Big Durk definitely had a little aura to him as well. Not quite Brian Steele level, but he was cool. And I snapped a little sneaky pic of Brian Steele and Durk having a chat afterwards. But basically, the judge kind of went on to say, look, this isn't an issue with the Speedy Trial Act. He kept bringing that up. He's saying it's not about the act. He didn't say this, but it was like, fuck the act. I decide what goes. If I want to listen to that, cool. If I think that something else is going on, we're going to do it my way. He said that the government should basically agree that they did the superseding indictment. Basically, he made a really good example. He said, look, the government surely would agree if you did your third superseding indictment, adding this extra murder on August the 19th, the day before the August the 20th trial was set. He said nobody would allow it to go ahead a day later. He said, if you drop this murder on Durk on the day before trial and expected him to still go ahead with this trial with a whole extra murder added with 1 day to look into it, he said it's absurd. It's just, it would never fly. Absolutely nobody in their right mind would allow that to happen. And the judge is basically saying, he basically asked, you know, if the superseding indictment, if that third indictment was put forward at such a late date, he basically said it completely would upend the defendant's plans. And he didn't say, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to force you to drop those charges, but he did lean heavily towards severing it. He said, look, if there's 2 trials, and again, he said, if there's 2 trials, the despicable LA murder has to be intertwined with the Vicar charge of Stefan Mack. He kept saying that, the despicable. To be honest, he didn't really say the Chicago murder was despicable. He probably hasn't had time to look into it. But he kept saying this despicable LA murder. It caught me off guard, to be honest with you. It was despicable. I couldn't believe it. And basically, he kind of was asking the prosecutors and going back and forth. Sorry, Mom, getting a dry throat.
I think we got the gist of this. Yeah, so the judge is basically agreeing with Durk. And I think that's a right thing to do. If you can't push this trial back for at least, I want to say 3 to 6 months, to have a defendant having to fight these violent crimes in aid of racketeering charges is just ludicrous. This is like a whole nother murder. Also, what Durk's team did say, which I haven't heard Trap Lord say, but I'll mention, Durk's team has said, hey, listen, They've now added this onto this indictment. We are questioning the validity of this even being part of the indictment. The 2 guys who pled guilty, are they making statements? No one ever pointed out that Durk is the actual person that was supposed to pay the money. And there's no even follow through on, did they get paid? Yes, they were in a music video, but how do you just like throw that on Durk? So that was a good point, and I think that judge is actually being fair. I would imagine that as we get closer to trial, the amount of motions that Durk will be submitting, and this would actually determine a lot of trials, y'all. Especially in the YNW Melly trial, that's what a lot of people thought that was missing, and that's why they think his new trial, he's going to have a better chance. You got to make sure the prosecutors got nothing to work with. You got to do motions after motions. Let's suppress some evidence. Oh, that shouldn't count. Nope, you can't bring that up. Hey, if you mention that you set the rules of engagement. You don't just go into the game. Like, the game is trial. You file every motion possible to try to get everything that they're going to use against you tossed out, or at least reduced, or the scope of how it gets delivered to the jury, it should be done in a way that is the most favorable to you, that you have the best chance of beating the case. So that's what it is, right? Okay, good. At least decent news for Durk. I did see Durk's father said something. Let's actually play what he had to say, and then we'll move on. We're going to go into this Nolan Ryan's thing, but this is what Big Durk said.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. I just left the courthouse on a hearing with my son today. It went well. Alhamdulillah. Everything went well. The judge favored us and ruled in our favor today and granted our motion. Alhamdulillah, man. The prosecutor tried to bring them bogus charges, but the judge severed those charges, and we're ready for trial now. So we thank everybody for their support, their prayers, everything that they've poured out to us right here, family, friends, and fans. So continue to pray for us. Continue to keep us in your dua. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum.
There we go. There we go. All right. Let's get an update on what's going on with this Nolan Wells story. That story is continuing to develop. It appears that there is some more info coming out. Apparently, there is some GPS data that's now popping up for the boat that he was on before his disappearance. And also Benjamin Crump is also having another press conference after he just met with the DA along with the family. Let's listen to the new info first, though.
Earlier today, the family of Nolan Wells met with the district attorney who confirmed the investigation will eventually be turned over to a grand jury. They're still wondering what happened to the 18-year-old on the July 4th weekend. Let's bring in Anna Schechter, who runs our crime unit. She's joining us right now. Anna, so what are we learning about those new details in this case? What can you tell us?
Well, we actually have obtained new movement records, GPS data. Our Jared Eggleston and Skylar Henry down in Mississippi obtained this from a Mississippi entity, and it actually shows exactly where the boat left from when it arrived at Horn Island. You're seeing, as that scrolls down on your screen there, you're seeing that July 4th, that tracking movement, the vessel reaching Horn Island around 11:14 a.m. And then we also see when the boat left. Now, as we've been reporting, Nolan Wells was not on that boat, although his keys and phone were. And so we see the boat then go and actually dock at a different location, then drive overland to the home of the owners of the boat. So this is new information that is all being reviewed by investigators who are still trying to figure out exactly what happened to Nolan Wells, Mugo.
Yeah, his parents have a lot of questions.
Very interesting. It's kind of interesting that, so they've met with the DA and they're saying that they hope everything is turned over to the grand jury. Well, I'm guessing these suspects must be all of the people that were on the boat then. Because usually when you turn over to the grand jury, you usually have to identify at least some type of suspect or who you intend to charge. Okay. Let me look at Law and Crimes. I did see another update, Law and Crimes. Or maybe we should just listen to Ben Crump, right? Benjamin Crump with the update. Let's see. We played that already. Okay, so let's listen to Benjamin Crump and the update. Remember, they just met with the DA.
Good morning. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park, Attorney Eric Hurst, Justin Preston, and Cliff Jones. We have the honor of representing the family of Nolan Wells. We have present with us his mother and father, Christine and Elmore. We've just had an opportunity to meet with District Attorney Angel McElgrath and some members of her team. We had a very respectful meeting. The thing I assume some of you may know, the thing to announce, she shared with the family that there will be a grand jury that she will turn this case over to once they have collected all the information and finished their investigation. We also agreed that we will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone with our experts and their experts. Attorney Eric Hurst is helping lead the investigation team with former law enforcement experts who are going to help us with the cell phone download. So everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone has. We also talked about trying to make sure we dot every I and cross every T. I know that we're getting about 50 calls a day to 100 calls a day from people who were there on Horn Island, people who are familiar with individuals that were there on Horn Island. And so we continue to be steadfast and trying to get to the truth.
Okay, let me watch this.
July 4th, 2026, Horn Island, Mississippi.
Is this how it looks?
18-year-old Nolan Wells, a star athlete and strong swimmer, vanishes during a boat trip with friends. By the time his body is found 2 days later on the island's northwest tip, the celebration has turned into a death investigation with lots of unanswered questions. Early on, reports indicated that Nolan stayed on the island without his friends voluntarily, but his family has raised some questions about whether or not that's actually true.
My sister and I actually went through Nolan's cell phone, and when we opened it up, there was nothing. There were no saved pictures. There were no snaps from that day.
One fact that some say doesn't add up is Nolan's cell phone. Why would he stay on Horn Island and not keep his cell phone? Attorney Ben Crump has been hired by the family to head up their own investigation.
One of them is telling the truth, one of them is not. We have to get to the bottom of that.
At this point, the autopsy results aren't even in, so it's really difficult to figure out what actually happened to Nolan. Was Nolan drinking? Did he get stuck in a rip current? Or did something criminal happen on that fatal trip? Until the investigation is completed, it's hard to come to any conclusion. This is so sad. It was July 4th. It was a day to celebrate, and it ends up being the end of the life of Nolan Wells. And for all involved, it's a tragedy. And it's not crystal clear yet. It's far from crystal clear. What we do know is that Nolan was out that day. He was out with friends. He wasn't, surrounded by strangers. These were his friends. So that makes you first think, if something nefarious happened, why would his friends be involved in it? Well, you think about the age of everyone, and if you're drinking and doing other things, things happen. And sometimes something bad happens. Maybe it's on purpose, maybe it's not. But then there's a cover-up, and it makes it even worse for everyone. That's if these friends are involved with what happened to Nolan Wells here. And one reason a lot of people are concerned is the issue of the cell phone. Nolan Wells, the story, hey, voluntarily, I'll stay on the island. I'll stay on the island without my cell phone. Why would you do that? Unless something else happened and the cell phone was sort of an afterthought. I mean, that issue needs to be cleared up because it's a big deal. Plus all the communications on the cell phone as well. So that's really, to me, one of the keys to unlocking what happened here. Now, for investigators, they need to be transparent in this case. This is one of those cases that involves the trust or lack of trust of.
Yeah, that's the problem with this current case, right? So there's nothing public. We don't have an autopsy report. The police report is going to be pretty thin because they're not even saying this is a homicide. We have no Emmy ruling. We do have some conversations by the people who were on the boat, but nothing that's really leading us anywhere. We just have a lot of doubts and we have a lot of skepticism that this shit was on the up and up. The keys left on the boat, the phone left on the boat kind of gives thought to maybe he planned to return to the boat and the boat, for whatever reason, just wasn't there. Or maybe he died and that's why he doesn't have his stuff. But what doesn't make sense is I'm about to go holler at a girl. So you gonna go holler at a girl without your phone, bro? That's a little bit odd.
The system. So
the toxicology report is going to be 2 to 3 weeks. It could even be up to a month.
Investigators need to do anything and everything they can to make sure the public trusts the results of their investigation, but even more importantly, that the family does. And I think they took one step towards that today by setting up a meeting with the family and their attorneys and representatives. The DA meeting with Nolan's family and with Ben Crump, their attorney. And the family came out and spoke afterwards with Ben Crump. Let's take a listen to what they had to say after meeting for the first time with the district attorney.
There will be a grand jury that she will turn this case over to. once they have collected all the information and finished their investigation. We also agreed that we will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone with our experts and their experts, so everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone has.
That's from WLOX, and that's important. That's good to hear. The cell phone, the mutual, this is unusual, right? That a cell phone will be looked at from the experts from, the government, from the state, from prosecutors, as the family's own experts are looking at it. So that's extremely unusual, but a good step towards transparency. You want the
and the way they're gonna look at the cell phone, it's not like one person has a cell phone so the other can't have it. They're gonna do a dump of it, right? So they're gonna take the cell phone to Cellbrite. That's a really popular place that the cops use to kind of get an image of the cell phone, no matter if it's locked or whatever. They could see past deletions. They could see it's a really like transparent look into how a phone was even used into even hours before it was seized or whatever. Yeah, you could have experts both look at that. It'll also show if it was tampered with. Oh, it shows activity on the phone after he died. How does that make sense? Or it shows activity on the phone after the boat left. We have GPS evidence now, so there's going to be a lot of time. You got to match the time. Okay, so the boat is coming back. He's not on the boat. According to them, he stayed. Who's on his phone? How is this thing get deleted right afterwards? So, I'm not saying that happened, but these are going to be some key things that you're going to analyze in looking at this cell phone image.
Family first to trust the results. If the family trusts the results, there's a much greater chance that the public will trust them as well. So I want to walk through a timeline right now, because I think to get the big picture of what happened over the course of those 2 days, ending with the tragic death of Nolan Wells. Friday, July 3rd, we begin. Nolan Wells left his family to spend the night with friends ahead of the holiday weekend. All right, so that's all right, I'm going with friends. Like I said, this is important. He's with friends. He's not with enemies. He's with people he knows, people he trusts, people that like him. Then on Saturday, July 4th, Nolan Wells joined friends for a boat trip to Horn Island. That afternoon, the group returned to the mainland, but without Nolan. Without Nolan. Okay, that's unusual, right? A group goes out and then a group comes back -1. Family members reported Nolan missing that night after getting a call from one of their friends around 11 p.m. So to me, that timeline's important. Like, you return without your friend, okay, but why are you returning without your friend?
True.
And at what point do you get concerned that your friend's nowhere to be seen? And if you leave him on an island, how is he supposed to get back?
So he was supposed to get back with catch a ride with someone else. Well, there's a lot of questions to be asked. If someone, did he know some other people that were there? There's a lot of questions to really be asked, man. Did he know someone else that was there? Was that assumed to be the ride that he was going to catch back? And you tell me your homie says, yo, I'm staying because I'm trying to bag a bitch. And at no point, y'all are all friends. Like, you know what I would text my friend? Yo, bro, what's up with Shorty? Is she going? Like, I'm texting you about that shit already. Like, yo, it don't take that long to bag a hoe. Like, what we doing? So I'm already texting you like, yo, what's up with Shorty? Like, what's good? So if nobody hits you, are these really your friends?
What was the plan there?
Oh, his phone's on the boat. Oh, yeah. Chat, my bad. Yo, that's kind of the dumbest part about this. How do y'all just take that nigga phone?
What was the plan? There has to be an overall plan. You don't just like get off a boat on a small little island and say, okay, swim back. That's not the way it works. So, to me, those are some of the questions I have. And what is it at 11 p.m.? What what happens that makes a friend say, okay, I need to call his parents because there's a problem here. There's a problem here. Why the worry all of a sudden at that moment, at that time? Now, on Sunday, July 5th, his parents get possession of his cell phone after tracking it to a house on land.
Now, that's also sus. Why not just, if the parents are now in a frantic mood looking for their kid through the phone, how doesn't it come to your attention if you brought it off the boat to a house? Yo, let me go drop off his phone home because I wouldn't know if he even got home or not. Let me just go by his crib. Let me try to drop off the phone, right? Why wouldn't you not be proactive in, even if he didn't get home, let me just leave it and let his mom know. Unless maybe it's one of those where it's like, oh, if I let his mom know that we left him, or we let his mom know that he's out there with some girls, she might get in trouble. But even then, it's like, how do you keep the phone at your house when people are looking?
Whoa, put the brakes on that for a second. Why do they have to track down the cell phone? Why? Like, did someone didn't know that they had his cell phone? Like, how did that work? How did they end up with the cell phone? Why did they have it? Why did they not know that they had it all along? Why did it have to be tracked down by the parents? Also on the 5th, Jackson County Sheriff's Department announced they were coordinating with the United States Coast Guard and Mississippi's Department of Marine Resources to search the island. And this is where things ramped up, right? We've got a missing person. We need to find this young man. And then on Monday, July 6th, that's when he's recovered from the water near the shoreline. But what exactly happened? How did he end up there? What caused his death? When did he die? A lot of unanswered questions. And a lot of those unanswered questions were put forth in the first press conference by the family. Ben Crump was there. Mom was there, Christine. Dad, Elmore, was there as well. Reverend Al Sharpton was also there. So let's take a listen to what they had to say at the first press conference in trying to figure out, like, okay, what happened to this young man?
That when I received the word of what happened to Nolan and began...
Yo, how come we only see Al Sharpton when shit like this? Yo, where this thing have been at, man?
Hearing what was pieced together, it is clear that this situation must have the most thorough and objective investigation to lead to justice. What we've been told does not make sense. And being that there is lack of confidence in the local authorities who have already, in my judgment, seemed to have mishandled where it was going. Because to just immediately, before a week time, saying there was nothing done wrong, when we hear that this young man was engaged in some kind of argument that was on tape, that his cell phone and keys ended up with one of the people that were there on the island and got away. He was one black with 3 young white men who happened to end up with his phone, happened to end up with his keys. Then there's just too many questions that they should not be closing the investigation.
And so I'm going to get to that in a moment, these glaring contradictions, but to try to say, oh, we're suggesting it was just an accident or drowning, go ahead and move on. Well, they are not accepting it. They are not accepting it. They want to know that you have not taken the path of least resistance, that you have done a full, complete, thorough, impartial investigation, because it cannot be lost on anybody, but especially us in the black community, if the roles were reversed and you had 3 young black men on a boat with a young white man, and that young white man ended up dead, what kind of investigation would be being conducted by the Mississippi law enforcement officials? How many times would those 3 young black men be interrogated? So all we're asking is the same consideration you would have given if the roles were reversed. Give that consideration to this family as well. That is our fight. The glaring contradictions.
All right, man. I can't listen to Benjamin Crumb talk for too long, bro. I ain't gonna cap with you, bro. That's the parents.
These people houses because there never be a hold in the situation. The keys come out. So now I feel like you done lied to me. So now I'm really like in distress with you. But as far as their night goes, if I knew anyone who had a
Let me see.
This is one of the last photos ever taken of 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Just a kid spending 4th of July weekend on a boat with people he called friends. They make it safely back to the mainland, but a couple of days later, he's found dead on the island. But before we get into what happened, take a look at this. This video has exploded all over social media.
Here, give me my fucking phone. Is he seen in the video?
According to Nolan's family's attorney, that's him yelling, "Give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing?" Investigators aren't ready to say that yet. They're still trying to determine exactly what this video shows. But either way, it's become one of the biggest pieces of this entire investigation. And once you hear the rest of this story, you'll understand why. But before we get into all of that, I have to ask, how does something happen to an 18-year-old, an accident or otherwise, on one of the busiest weekends of the year on an island packed with people and nobody sees it? I'm Chris. Let's recap what we know. Crowd here, he was a hometown star. First one to work, last one to complain. His life was just getting started. It's gorgeous white sand, crystal clear water. It's where people go to spend the day just hanging out. In a tight coastal town like Ocean Springs, the water is a way of life. Spending the weekends out on the barrier islands is just a local rite of passage, especially on the 4th of July. And this one was no different. Nolan joined friends and boated out there on Saturday, something they'd all done before. But here's the catch. Once you're out there, you're on your own. There are no stores, no restaurants, no lifeguards, no drinking water, and maybe most important, no cell service. The only way on or off that island is by boat, and on a holiday weekend like the 4th of July, the place is absolutely packed. Hundreds of boats, hundreds of people. But even with all those eyes around, there are still some pretty big holes in the timeline. But we do know this. When it was time to head back to the mainland, Nolan didn't get on the boat. According to the friends he came with, that was his decision. He was talking to a girl and wanted to stay behind to keep hanging out with her. They say he told them he was going to catch a ride back later with a different group. Investigators have never publicly identified who that other group was supposed to be. So, who was this girl? Early on, social media was convinced she was Nolan's girlfriend. She wasn't. According to Nolan's family and public statements, they were simply friends who happened to run into each other on the island. They spent part of the afternoon talking and hanging out. That's it. Now, back to the friends. They told him...
Wait. So they know what girl this is? Bro, if they know what girl this is, we also got to think about her. Shorty, that's a good confirmation right there. Were you hanging out with him while the boat left? Why didn't he have the phone?
Investigators, the last time they saw Nolan was around 3 that afternoon. About an hour and a half later, around 4:30, they say they left the island because their boat's bilge pump was failing and it was taking on water. And according to them, Nolan chose to stay behind. But Nolan's family says he'd never do that. He knew that, quote, if you come with 5, you leave with 5. And here's where the story takes a big turn. According to the girl, they hung out for a while that day, but when they split up, she says Nolan told her he was going back to his friends and getting on the boat with them, which is a very different story. And then there's this question. How did Nolan's phone end up back on the mainland? Okay, let's go back to that night for a minute. According to the U.S. Coast Guard, around 11 p.m. on the 4th of July, one of Nolan's friends calls them. The Coast Guard wouldn't tell WLOX what was said, only that the call didn't require Coast Guard assistance. A few minutes later, around 11:07, Nolan's mom says she gets a call from one of Nolan's friends. WLOX reports she hasn't publicly shared what was said, but after the call, she checks Life 360. That's when she notices something. Nolan's phone is already back on the mainland. At first, that sounds crazy. I mean, what 18-year-old isn't glued to their phone? But there's no cell service on Horn Island, and locals say plenty of people leave their phones and keys on the boat while they're swimming or hanging out on the beach. So if all of Nolan's stuff was still on that boat, why would he let them leave with it? And when his family finally gets his phone and keys back later that night, something jumps out. Nolan was always taking pictures, always posting to Snapchat, but according to them, there isn't a single photo or video from the 4th, even though they checked before the 24-hour automatic expiration. So the search for him kicks off on Sunday afternoon. Deputies, the Coast Guard, and volunteers are all over the island and the waters around it. But it's too late. At about 8:45 a.m. on July 6th, a National Park Service ranger spots Nolan's body in the marsh near the northwestern tip of the island. He was allegedly found in roughly the same area where he was last seen. So, is that strange? Well, maybe not. The United Cajun Navy has searched these waters for years, and they say the currents could explain it. Here's what they told Law and Crime.
When he went into the water, however he got into the water, he didn't go that far out before he drowned because it only took like a couple of days for him to drift right back south to the tip of the island, same tip of the island where he was last seen. Had he gone a lot further out, he probably would have gotten sucked into the ship channel and pushed way further south toward the Chandelier Islands.
Fair enough. But let's say it wasn't a swimming accident. How did he end up in the water in the first place? And this is where the case really starts taking off online. Within hours of Nolan being found, videos, photos, and theories started flooding social media. One video especially took off online. Now, there are a lot of AI videos floating around in this case, but this is the clip the Wells family attorney, Ben Crump, shared on his Instagram. Investigators haven't said whether it's authentic or even connected to Nolan. What they have done is ask anyone who was near the northwest tip of Horn Island that day to send in their original photos and videos, especially anything showing an argument or disturbance. Take a look.
Okay.
A judge whose family had been linked to the case had briefly deactivated her social media. That only fueled more speculation. Then she later put out this statement saying her family was fully cooperating with investigators. By this point, the story wasn't just local news anymore. More spec case. Then people noticed a Jackson County judge whose family had been linked to the case had briefly deactivated her social media. That only fueled more speculation. Then she later put out this statement saying her family was fully cooperating with investigators. By this point, the story wasn't just local news anymore. Because Nolan is a black teenager who'd been left behind by a group of white friends, the case caught the attention of civil rights leaders across the country. But the sheriff says race has nothing to do with the investigation and insists they're handling it like any other case. Nolan's parents weren't convinced. They wanted another set of eyes on everything, so that's when they brought in Ben Crump. So, where does the investigation stand right now? Just keep in mind, this is still a developing case. By the time you're watching this, there could already be new information. But as we're recording, the sheriff says investigators haven't found any evidence a crime was committed. Right now, they believe Nolan probably drowned. That doesn't mean they're done investigating. They say they're still following every lead. And investigators say there's something else to consider. Even really athletic people like Nolan can still get caught in a rip current. The United Cajun Navy talked about that with CBS News. Here's what they had to say.
If you're not suspecting of it or you don't know about it, even if you're a strong swimmer, you could be swept off your feet and carried out a couple 100 yards before you even have a chance to react.
The official autopsy and toxicology reports for his cause of death haven't been released yet, but the Wells family isn't waiting for the investigation to play out on its own. They're getting an independent autopsy. And interestingly, former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick is chipping in some money for that, according to People.com. And Nolan's parents are also asking anyone who was on the island that day to come forward with original photos and videos that could help fill in the gaps in the timeline. So, for now, that's where this case stands. We'll keep following this case as new information comes out. And if
interesting, yeah, I'm really intrigued in this. A lot of questions. We're gonna get some answers. Unfortunately, it's gonna be the trickle effect until law enforcement really gives some definitive word, or we get something that's a smoking gun. So I don't know. Too many questions, too many non-answers. We will continue to kind of follow it and hope to find whatever is the truth. If unfortunately he died just swimming and no foul play, nothing around it that makes it weird. Hopefully that's, everyone will be okay with that if that's what the evidence shows. And if there's something else more nefarious, hopefully we could get to the bottom of that as well. All right. Chat, I'm going to call it here. A little bit shy of 4 hours, but you guys know how it is. It was a late stream today, so I do apologize for the late start. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll try to get an earlier stream going on. I don't have as much to do tomorrow as I had today, so I'll hopefully hop on a little bit earlier. I do thank you guys for tuning in. No matter if you're watching on Kick, if you're watching on YouTube or wherever else, I appreciate you guys. I'll be back tomorrow.